Welcome to Cranky Live Sports Talk, where passion meets action.
Hey sports fans, I am Cranky, and this is the Cranky Live Sports Talk, the podcast where we dive deep into the hottest topics, the biggest games, and the most controversial moments in sports.
Whether it's football, basketball, track and field, cricket, or soccer, we've got you covered with expert analysis, insider interviews, and unfiltered opinions.
Join me as I chat with the biggest names in sports, get exclusive insights and stories you won't hear anywhere else.
Cranky Live Sports Talk is where you can hear the real talk, the hard-hitting questions, and the hottest takes.
So, if you're a true sports fanatic, you don't want to miss out? Subscribe now to the Cranky Live Sports Talk on YouTube and hit that bell icon to never miss an episode.
Cranky Live Sports Talk, where sports come alive. Subscribe today.
Good evening, good evening, good evening. Let me know if you can hear me, people. People out there in Cranky Land, we can hear you. Jeremiah, if you're first, good evening, good evening. Hey, I'm on a hot show today, no people. May I say go hot today? I know, but me today is a shame. You know, I'm going to drink some water. People come in and chat. Come prepare for the show. You know, me not get enough but on today. Bless up gaming, bless up Webster, Jeremiah. I hope we are this positive as we go through this discussion. And you can see the thumbnail. I'll put it up. Because it was, you know, what put on my hat? It was deliberate, people. It was deliberate. Don't give me a second. It was deliberate. The thumbnail was deliberate, people. It wasn't by chance I put it up. Hopefully my head don't get up. Bless up Ecoreach. Thanks for joining. And people as not come in, and I don't know if the people, I have to talk about this 101 times. If you come in, I have to put up no poll for them thing. We've been doing this for a while now. So I should have to put up poll. I should have to be making requests. We know the drill when we come in. And you know me, I'll stop talk if I don't see the numbers going the direction it's going. Bless up Warren. Yeah, we'll talk about all of that, you know, because you can see the headlines, people, right? You can see my thumbnail. It was made by design. Bless up Owen. Because I have some concerns, actually. I'm going to play the press conference at some point during this discussion. And then we can decipher it, talk about it. So I'll talk about a couple of things. One is Steve McClaren, the role he sits in, and here's what's important. Is he conflicted in his role? Which I haven't heard anybody talk about. I like to talk about things a little bit more original, you know. A friend of mine reached out to me and said, is the coach loyal to Jamaica? And I was like, I didn't really watch the conference. Yeah, I work on these thumbnails, you know. They're not just, them take time. That's why I complain when I don't get my likes, because I spend time thinking about making something that resonates with my audience. And if I don't get the flowers I think I deserve, I get cranky, as you guys know. I'm not going to beat the JFF because last night I was trying to have a balanced conversation about them. I'm not beating them, but if some way along the conversation, them get beaten, I saw it go. But I'm not here to beat the JFF. This is not about the JFF beating the JFF. It's about a number of things, but it will have some JFF implications to it. So what am I talking about? So I'm going to digress a little bit first and then come back to the core. The core is about, is Steve McClaren conflicted? What's the implication of being conflicted? And we want to talk about the Reggae Boyz squad and where do we go from here? Right? So let me digress though, because in front of me I have two big TV screen and I'm seeing Raheem Sterling move to Arsenal. It's close for the last 2 hours. I mean, no longer to forget close, people, because, you know, I'm a big Arsenal fan. And I would love Sterling, who's born in Jamaica, but not locally developed, to come to Arsenal. No matter what his 2 years at Chelsea have been, I like the player. Yes, he missed a lot of goals, but he's quality. And form is temporary, class is permanent, and I think he's class. So I hope he comes to Arsenal, and I hope when he comes, he does well, because Sterling actually is Jamaican, and he operates accordingly. He come a Jamaican with royalty. He have property out in now let's go say where, but out in Jamaica someplace, right? And by the way, people, when I was saying this yesterday, and hey Claudine, are you in the chat, Claudine? Where's Claudine? Claudine, may I call you out? Where are you, Claudine? If you're in silent in the chat, people, it's 37 people in the chat and 21 likes. That doesn't work for me. As in no mystery. And I'm trying to be. I was told today in another program, a content management program, you're saying I impart knowledge and wisdom to them, and I don't apply the same standard to myself. So what I will do is try to be what did I put this in a very nice term? Less volatile today, no matter what is said. So if people in the chat say something very, very negative and touch my button, I'm just gonna ignore it and don't put up a comment and just move on. So if me ignore your comment, you know why? You touch a nerve, right? So that's how we do this. I'm jumping around here before I go into the conversation. Come wait for more people coming in the chat. I know more people are coming because when you talk about Jamaica football, people come in. So I don't want people miss nothing. I don't want to go like what's his name yesterday? Football guru coming later talk about me I beat JFF when that was opposite to the conversation we're having. I heard Maverick on TVJ, not sure when it was, talking about the JFF begging Greenwood to come to Jamaica and run around him and run behind him. Hey Maverick, I know you have to get views. And I know it's important to get views. And I know you also are parochial in your views. And I know you also have some so I call you out Maverick. When I call out people in media, I call you out some anti-heritage sentiments. I'm heritage Mavericks. I'm going to take it personal. I think it's unfair for you to label the JFF as running behind Mason Greenwood. So why don't you call out America to running behind Balogun, Maverick? I don't hear you talk about it, Maverick. Or you don't care about that. You just want to call out something to make yourself look good, appease your audience in Jamaica who are xenophobic. What's that about, Maverick? So I call you out, Maverick. What's that about? Because me here yesterday, JFF run behind him as if a little boy run behind him. No. What they're doing is pursuing a talent, which is what everybody do about exceptional talent. That's why clubs run down the Johan Carter. That's why Real Madrid run down Mbappe for 2 years. That's what happens in football. That's why in football do certain things, whether it's NFL or basketball, they get some privileges. Because as society, we pursue exceptional talent. That's how life works, Maverick. And you don't realize that. Some of the defensive people vice fence and tell you that that's how it works, Maverick. So you're trying to denigrate the JFF by saying this nonsense. That's crap on your part and disingenuous on your part and not becoming of you. Because I respect your views and respect your perspective as you analyze things that are happening across the Jamaica community. But for you to try to denigrate them and belittle them, and they get enough of that, they don't need you to do it more, that they're running behind Mason Greenwood as if Mason Greenwood is God or something. Well, he's sort of on the football field. That's why we all will turn our head sometime, and so we all want to pursue him because he's going to make us all feel good. By the way, Maverick, including you, say you love football. See if you stop that nonsense. You do them sometime, you know. We know who you are try please or who you are please. But when you add a divisive boss or a toxic boss to do certain things, you work around it because son of stay in a Jamaica somehow. When your toxic boss are doing thing, you now beat him. You talk about that's how he is. And I talk to him as if you have access. So don't be the nonsense, Maverick. Eat that thing you're going with. I mean, I appreciate that. I appreciate you and your comment here a lot of times, but that way you do is not okay. I don't find it okay. So I call it in a public domain, which I try not to do, you know. But I have to call you up because I'm tired of the nonsense. I know them things too much. But anyway, people, let's digress a little bit. So that my little bit of you say I was going to be calm and not ranting. And here I'm starting a little bit of rant already. Yeah, he loved the mix-up, but he's selective with the mix-up. Yeah, probably, because he said he and divisive, we call him the toxic boss are friends. Right? Him love the toxic boss, so they are friends. So therefore, I'm not going to beat the toxic boss, but he want to beat, you hear him beat the foreign baller already now. You hear him make some sort of comments which you call them foreign ballers and this and that, where the kids are naturalized Jamaicans, just like a lot of people come from Jamaica and they get naturalized, become citizens. What if people were to denigrate us as such? Call us heritage, this and call us, I mean, Trump trying to do it now with a lot of people, right? And we all take it offensively and we all go hard at him. So, you know what, Maverick? You're no different. You're being toxic, just like the toxic friend we have. And by the way, I heard this. Somebody sent me this today. I should read these things, you know. Read these things today. Somebody tell me that the toxic boss son is going to be at Veer. Is that true, people? Is the toxic boss son going to be at Veer? But me have been laughing a lot. Lord help me now. Why am I tell you a star? I find these things so funny. Huh? Somebody sent me something, text me that the toxic boss person son is gonna be here. Eh? So he's a reject wherever he goes to, because he might call English people reject, which includes yours truly, by the way. Even though I'm not English people, I'm Jamaican, I'm American, and I'm English in some respects. But he might call English people reject, and he be reject for so much team. They wanted to couple him with Bailey to play for Jamaica national team, which the JFF wasn't having. Bless up to you, JFF. So we have the toxic boss who want to have his way and have everything his way, and he wants his son to play for the national team, which is not good enough. And then can't play no team, and go play. This is amazing, people. Amazing how this works, isn't it? People. If me I'll go up and me look at Rant and thing, and I found the like button, me I stop. Me can't do this. I know I'm sturdy. So I played my mouse. Myself feel good. I can look at 5-year-old now. Because me not understand why no one hit the like button. The like button has to be people me talking to people. Me not talking to like the button. So if you understand I hit it, then I ask you to very nicely, please find another place to go listen to somebody ranting. Because I'm not into that conversation. When I'm doing this program, if the like button does go up, I don't go up. I have no energy. I may have nothing to talk about. Especially this thing about caught between two worlds. Because it's important. So if you don't want to hit the like button, me not talk about nothing. Me so talk nonsense. And if you don't want to leave, me can't live with it. You don't know me steady. Not try to butt up nobody. If I 38 likes on 70 people, I'm not gonna, unless the likes go up, me can't talk. Me have talking phobia. So people are full of choice, you know. If you don't hit the like button, you can't stay there. If you guys don't want to hit the like button, then we can sit here all evening and don't talk about anything, and you go find something else to do. I'm not giving you my time and effort. You don't hit the like button. I'm dead serious about that. No drink water. No can't stay. When the lights go up, me start talk. When don't go up, me not talk. So if I don't want dead space, I'm not gonna talk about anything else that's important until the lights go up, people. So me operate. If you're in my channel and the regulars normally hit the like button, and you don't want to hit the like button, then watch somebody else's channel. I saw me stay. I mean, no, some people take it, say, boy, cranky, you're egotistical, you're this and you're this. And that's not it. I spend time preparing for this program. I spend time thinking, sometime all day. I am not going to come here, you don't hit the like button so other people can watch the program. That's how it works for YouTubers. It's like you go someplace, you don't spend no money, and it's all free too. I don't ask you for money. I don't ask you no super chat. I don't ask you nothing except likes. I don't ask you no super chat. You know, you may come and say, boy, give me a super chat. No, super chat Friday. Nope. So if you don't hit the like button, I'm not talking about anything. So me stay. A first responder, I say me not get upset today, you know, so you can't upset me. Me sound like 43. Then if first responder is my suggestion, first responder. I'm dead serious. Then first responder, cancel me like 433 then. I'm dead serious. If you think I sound like 433 and that's the cancellation you guys are focused on, then cancel me. Responder. That's how we stay. We're not beg nothing. We're not beg nothing in life. We're trying enough. We're putting ourselves in a position that we don't have needs, we have wants. It's only 54 and a 76 people in the chat. We're not going to hear running our mouths. The chat don't go up. I'm asking you again, please. If you don't want to hit the like button, I will talk to the 54 people, but I don't want to talk to the other 20 who don't hit the like button. I don't want to talk to you. I don't want to talk to you because what you're doing is you want freeness, but you don't want to give up. And what you give up is also free. And those, sometimes the good suffer for the bad in life. I say go. So if no one hit the like button, we're going to stay here. Because I'm not talk. Sorry, people. I'm just closing stream, people, because waste of my time and waste of your time. I mean, people are upset with me, and I'm like, cranky, you're out of your mind. That's how I live my life, people. And we're not change certain things in life, you know. So we live a life. We have principles. I mean, like Kamala talk she has values, but then she want to do fracking. I think she should reassess that instead of how she present that. She should say the climate changes that we're making that I think going to help the environment. Fracking is a need to generate energy for us to help our economy. We have to have a balance. I didn't like her answer. So maybe I need to talk to Kamala's people. I didn't like her answer. Her answer doesn't, if you have values, then you are going to your own values. If you say fracking is not part of your values, then you can't say you have values, but you want to do fracking. Before you sit down to fracking. That makes no sense. And those who want to understand this, go look it up. All right, so 63 versus 77 difference. Let me start. Let me keep on talking, people. So here's the point, people, and a couple of things. I listen to the press conference. I'm gonna play the press conference, then we talk about it. Come on, that's not a fraud. Hey, gaming, come on, that's not a fraud. Trust me. So you like Trump, gaming? You like Trump? Tell me if you like Trump. Come and born Trump 24/7, you know. Tell me if you can. No. I didn't like Drew Ross. My point is this: is that I don't. Here's the thing, people. I'm not born come out for that comment. Then bono Trump for everything. Trump don't like you. Know, if you're black, Trump don't like you. Let me say this again, people, because I'm confused. You guys are confused. If you're black, Trump hates your guts. So first responder. So Drew Ross and who else was there? And gaming. I assume that you guys are of a different race and you're not black. That's the first thing. And if you're, I assume that you're born in America too. So you were born outside of Jamaica. I'm also assuming that because I think we're confused on certain things. There are degrees in life. Do I like everything the Democrats do? Heck no. Do I like anything the Republicans do? Very few. So when you guys are picking sides, you should have a list of things that you're focused on that is important to you. And one of them should be your race and who you are. Because a lot of times, I was talking to a friend of mine today about this. I can't go any place and buy anything, and the person I give my dollar to looks like me, which is a problem for me. Let me repeat that. When I go someplace to buy something in my neighborhood or around, and I give my person my dollar, it doesn't circulate in my community. It goes outside my community. It goes outside my community, which is a problem for me. So I know people have different persuasion watch this channel, but that's a problem for me. You can't create generational wealth and improve the civil society if the dollar that you make doesn't multiply by 10 in your community. No, it's not balanced view, but I am versatile that way, Brian Burke. But anyway, so thanks for keeping back on track, Brian Burke. All right, Drew. I heard you, Drew. All right, so let's go back to the football. So let me play the press conference and let me explain what my problem is with McLaren and what he has said. Major problems I have with McLaren. Major problems. And I want to give him a chance to succeed as a coach because that's what we should do because we want to go to the World Cup. But McLaren disappointed me. So tell me if you can hear these people. I'll play the press conference. I know someone heard already because other people played, but listen to the press conference. Tell me if you can hear these people.
Wait for Monday. That's when it starts. We coaches, we're not about press conferences. We're not about watching this and watching that. We're about football, about getting players on the training field.
A team that you selected, this is your first Jamaican squad. Give me an easy question for the first one. How excited?
We're excited to. We can't wait for Monday. That's when it starts. We coaches, we're not about press conferences. We're not about watching this and watching that. We're about football, about getting players on the training field, playing games, and getting to win or lose or draw. That's our life, and that will start on Monday. So that's what I'm excited about, in anticipation of that. 2 very difficult games, but as I said, there's a lot of expectation on Jamaica. Number 1 in the Caribbean. That brings pressure from the fans. We understand that, but we need the support also from that. We get the support from the federation, support from everybody. We all are aligned in one direction, and that short term, I say short term, 2 years, is 2026, the World Cup, but also in the longer term as
well. And coach, second question to you, and maybe if the president wants to comment on this, the fans would have awoken yesterday to some news from the selection of the England squads that Omari Hutchinson has been named in the under-21 England squad, and that Morgan Gibbs-White, who we have been courting as a country and fans, etc., has been named in the senior national squad. The A-part to that question, could you tell us, share with us as much as you could, your talks and negotiation with either of those players? There's no problem if we fail, but what was the effort that was made? You could tell us that. And outside of that, if you could just update us on the progress with other key EPL heritage players, the likes of Tyreek Mitchell, Kyle Walker-Peters, Max Aarons, as much as you can? I know this talks as a lot of times private.
I think it's simple, and I try to keep everything simple. In one respect, you're right. It's about recruitment, looking at heritage players on one side, and it's difficult because on the list that I have, about 50 names, but many of them are 23, 24 and under. Good young players. And their ambition, as they're born in England, is to play for England. And that is right. So it's very, very difficult to recruit that type of players. So we're looking at more mature players who come to that point of, okay, I may not play for England, but there's an option. So that's what we look at. And I spoke to many of the younger players as well. And the likes of Kalamata, the likes of Hutchison, and they're good enough to wait for England and think they're good enough. That's a fantastic attitude. So on one respect, recruitment of heritage players is difficult. But on the other respect, from what I've seen with the 14s, with the Cavaliers and with Mount Pleasant, is the quality of the Jamaican players is improving. So that's the key, is that we have to improve our players on the island. We have to improve the league. We have to improve the competition. And you can see the progress that's been made in terms of that. I mean, I watched the game last night, and all my staff we were so impressed with the Cavaliers, so impressed. The young players playing against very, very mature men, dominating the game, and in the end, 4-1, dominating. You've seen the 4 teams. How can you win a final 7-1? So this job is twofold. Yes, get the best players that we possibly can in the short term, and yes, let's improve the young talents that are there. And what the Federation is doing, Andrew Burt went down, and Mr. Speed, is they're giving youngsters a chance. And that's the key to it, is giving youngsters a chance in the competition, because you never know what they can do. I know what they did last night. So, yeah, like I said, I remember, I said before, about 3 years ago, working with FIFA and the TDS, what could happen in Jamaica is happening. We're just here just to help that process and improve it even more.
Coach, MG Sports, based off the profile of players that you have selected, have you already identified a particular brand or system of football that you plan to deploy these specific profile of players in?
I spoke to Mr. Speed at length about the culture of the Jamaican player. And that's why it was great to see the game last night, because we saw it. We saw it. One, attitude. That's the key. Attitude. If nobody has attitude coming into this squad, nobody has attitude and shows attitude on the field, attitude to work, not just for themselves, for each other. No one has attitude. No one wants to run. You won't get in the team. You have to have attitude. You have to run. You have to do that. You have to have talent. And the talent that we see, I'm just giving last night as an example, because the pitch was difficult. It was dry, and I know it's difficult. But the talent, the ability, dealing with the ball, keeping the ball in tight areas, was great to see. So dealing with the ball, attitude, dealing with the ball, being brave, wanting to take the ball. And the third thing, what's the strength of the Jamaican player? Speed, athleticism. And I think we saw that last night. I've seen that in the games that I've watched. That's a real strength. So that's what they're the three things in which we work around in terms of a philosophy. Now, systems might change. It's nothing to do with it. Systems. Yeah.
I didn't get to the mic.
All right, people, can you hear me? Oh, boy. Let me start. So here's what's interesting about that press conference. I'm going to take notes enough, people. And I will list of things we want to say. First of all, let me know if you guys can hear me. I'm asking myself the question. And Nitro, that's the same question, man. I didn't hear, he said he spoke to some of the players. He said he had about 50 names. I didn't hear him speaking to 50 names. I didn't hear him say the players said they don't want to play for Jamaica. They want to play for England. He inferred that. I don't know how many people he spoke to. And he says, he's basically saying they should want to play for England because they're born in England. I don't think any coach should say that of a national team where they're trying to pursue players from a country. So he's inherently conflicted because he's English. He wants what's best for the English national team. He previously coached England. I'm actually concerned about those comments. And by the way, people, there's, my head hurt me, There's 99 people in the chat and 79 likes. It's not good enough. Sorry. Yeah, John Power, Sterling to Arsenal. Yeah, but we're not going to talk about Sterling now. That was Sterling, no, about Sterling to Arsenal. Yeah, I know Arteta was very complimentary about him. And even said something about the people. I'll digress a little bit. I say this. When Arteta talked about Sterling, he talked about him, he almost exalts Sterling, not just about his football, but about how he was as a person. It's important to have good relationships. And I've lived this in my corporate career. Every job I changed, and I had about 4 or 5 jobs, I didn't get the job because I just went to interview with somebody. Somebody told somebody that this person, this is not me exalting myself, you should interview them. They have certain skill set, and they did. Obviously, I did okay in those interviews to get those jobs. But I think walking through my career, the 4 or 5 big jobs that I had, or decent jobs that I had, and was people who knew me from my previous life. I wasn't even friends with some of them. So it's important for you in certain environment to build good relationships, to make your ability speak for itself, because it helps you down the road. And I'm just saying that because Arteta was very complimentary about Sterling, even though I think he was thinking about getting Sterling, right? Now, chorus, nobody's blaming the players who want to play for England. And nothing is wrong with them wanting to play for England. My point is, if you're the national team coach, from a national loyalty standpoint, here's a conflict. My concern is that McLaren might hesitate to recruit English-born players with Jamaican heritage because doing so would weaken the player selection pool for his homeland, England. That's my view, right? So if he's a true patriot for England, then it's a problem for me as a Jamaican. Because even though I was born in England, I'm not English, I'm Jamaican. Let me tell you that right now. I'm born in England, Wolverhampton, 17 Nursery Street, in Wolverhampton, out in the country. I am not English, I'm Jamaican. I'm American citizen, I am Jamaican. That's how I classify myself, that's how I view myself, that's how I operate. And that's why I talk sometimes, even though somebody said me speak is spooky. So at the end of the day, if he's conflicted, then that's a problem. Because he made it seem like, even if he thinks that way, he shouldn't have said it. There's certain things you don't say when a national coach. He should make his best effort to recruit any one of those players if you think they're good enough. And if they say no, fine. So you know what? Lambakisi could become good enough. He probably played for the English youth team. Connor Boyce Clark could be good enough. They play for English youth team. There are a number of them. So they probably have the potential. Why should they just say they want to play for England? We don't know that unless we talk to them. We're not going to knock them if they want to, but that's not the point. My worry is that McLaren's English background might influence him to avoid selecting players who will be valuable to England, future prospect, thereby prioritizing his England loyalty over Jamaican loyalty. I don't care what I want to say. And we'll get to some other things for interested people because my head is spinning. My fear is, so if him call Reid in his squad, and we have seen Reid at the under 20, I don't care what I want to do against police. What about Brandon Cover? What about Delano Splat? Don't they have potential? Don't they have Jamaican passport? And they're just good players, are probably better players. Even when they watch the under 20, The kid Welsh, who plays for what? Leighton Orient? He was the best player on Jamaica team. Why you call him instead? He plays midfield. What are we talking about? What are we talking about, people? That's my frustration. What are we talking about? Huh? He talks about it's a missed opportunity if he doesn't pursue certain players who have Jamaican heritage, who potential-wise or quality-wise can play for the island. That's a problem for me. So I question his priorities. And is he really fully aligned with Jamaica football? Or is it a passing thing where he want to make a name and get a World Cup and then get another big job? Like Hargreaves was trying to do. I'm not trusting him anymore. I've lost trust for him. And I'm sure he's lost trust from certain stakeholders with some of the things that he says. Now, sometimes we misspeak in conferences, but he basically says he's not pursuing anybody 23 or 24 who may be good enough because they should want to play for England. That's what the man said, people. I am not misquoting him. You just heard it. And that is nonsense. That cannot be okay, people. It can't be okay. And then he wants to cloud our views by linking it to locally based players because he knows that a lot of people on the island, that's how they think. His praise of the local Reggae Boyz was effusive, and that will spark optimism, but it will also spark skepticism within the football community because we're not blind. We know what we see. We're not blind people. We know what we see. We know what's there. We watched the under-20 team play with some of the younger players. Yes, they had about 5 overseas players, but the only one player that stood out to me was from the UK. The praise that he was. Here's another thing, people. Here's what's funny. Here's what's funny about this whole thing, which I find really interesting. So he's there lauding the local players. And people go say, Cranky, see you go? You're anti-local, you're anti-this. I'm going to say, get a life. I'm anti-nothing. Every time I ever say this, I hope the local players become excellent and play for the best teams in the world. That's not the point. We know what we're seeing. We're not blind. So when you sit in your high horse chair, Steve, and you're telling us how you watch the Cavalier game and how they beat Police 4-1 and how they're great and how they're kids who destroyed Police from Trinidad, as if that's the benchmark, people. What benchmark are we using? What benchmark are we using to make that assessment and that perspective? What are you talking about? About how you were part of FIFA's program, which document I can't see, but I saw Trinidad's document, people, and I've talked about it. A lot of information there. You see me talk about it last Monday. You have talked about how you did the assessment, how the talent, how we have speed. What we have to do, track and field. When since track and field start coming to football, people, what am I confused about? When since the speed you're talking about, we are run against ourselves. Trinidad is like Jamaica. They're both lost in a sense when it comes to local football. Both lost countries. Trinidad used to be exceptional. Jamaica is very good. We have gone in the opposite direction, except Trinidad has fallen faster than we have. So when you come with this thing, here's a problem, people, that McLaren don't understand. And many of you know. He's talking to an informed audience. Let me repeat that, people, because some people don't understand this. We're not just come people. We're not just come around and watch football at Jamaica. We live it, rebreathe it. I should say, not breathe. Pronounce me THE, because you know Jamaicans how we are. We destroy, we bite at the THE. We breathe the football, we live the football, we talk on a daily basis. You can't cloud our views, McLaren, Steve, whatever your name is, because I'm getting upset with you now. And the more I talk about it, the more perturbed I get. We know the football. We understand the football. We love the football. That's New Way of saying, the course, acting like a double agent in that person. Yes, hey, I'm glad you guys are realizing this now. The comments he made were not acceptable. He didn't say, I spoke to our 50 and all of them think they have potential to play for Jamaica. He skirted the question a little bit initially when he answered it. Because Kataraka asked him first about certain names that Morgan was white. And then in the second come around, he said he spoke to some of them. He didn't say they did not want to play for Jamaica. I didn't hear that. So is he making a wholesome attempt to recruit all the players who are eligible, who he think has the ability to play for Jamaica? I didn't hear that. That's so disappointing. I cannot believe I'm hearing this. You should not be the coach of Jamaica. You shouldn't. Somebody have bun you out, McLaren. I tell you that right now. You should not be the coach with that perspective. If you come tell us and say, yes, they should all want to play for Jamaica, England, because they're born in England. That's like a person who's not black using the N-word. That's my analogy. There's certain things you can say, you should not say. give him the role that you play in life. I'll give him whatever you are in life. That doesn't work for me, people. I find it unbelievable that he said that. I'm not convinced by him anymore. I've lost respect for him. I don't care how much of a big coach he's supposed to be. What he's saying is that we should not pursue anybody who have the capability to play for England. That's what he's basically saying. We should wait until they get old and they can't make the team anymore. We should pursue them. That's nonsense. Some kids don't want to wait. A lot of kids don't want to wait. Yeah, I don't know what the story is. Yeah, I am beyond disappointed. Let me say this, however. Let me say this, people. All right, people start calling already. It's sure hot tonight, man. People don't hit the like button, hit the like button, hit the like button. 128 and 188, like, you know, so me I'll stop and talk, you know. Good evening. Who am I speaking to?
Yes, Cranky, this is CC.
CC, you don't have 20 minutes. My telephone now, the calls are 5 minutes long because me have to go with my diatribe. So go ahead.
Yeah, man. I know some not really have not 20 minutes. I tell some of that press conference, I couldn't even get 60 seconds, much less.
Ketaraka always come up, jump up before now.
I realize you have people there ask the coach if he's going to live in Jamaica, if Leon Bailey was chorused and all of them something there. And nobody asking the coach, like, for example, the question where you just say, like, if him, in terms of the recruitment thing, it's simple. If I had two questions. One of my questions was, given that my collector is not attached to a club right now, what would have been the discussion that would have brought him into the squad and not necessarily select an additional midfielder in that position, right? That would have been one of my questions because he's not playing any football since season start. He's not attached to a club because he was released by his club recently. So, and then the other question that I would have wanted to ask is that in terms of the recruitment of players to play for the team, I know you said some of the players them would naturally want to play for England, but do you feel conflicted given that you're an Englishman and you would want the best talents to play for your country and you're in a position where you're coaching a country that has the ability, some of these players have the ability to play for this country as well? So are you in a position where you feel conflicted? That's what I would have asked.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, that is what it comes down to, you know, Cranky. If you come from England and England has never won a World Cup since 1966, would you not want the best available talent playing for England so England can go in a World Cup, given that you come from a country there?
I would think so.
So that's why I say I would want, because the way in which he answered the question, the recruitment of players, right?
Mm-hmm.
That is a question where you have to follow up in terms of asking him, putting him in the spot to say, you're English born, you're British born, so your heart is with your home country. However, you're in a position where you're coaching Jamaica. So some of these players that are qualified for both Jamaica and England, what is it? What methodology or how strong or how aggressive will you be in attracting or approaching these players?
Right.
Yeah. So.
Yeah. No, I agree.
And I think, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Yeah, and I think that is the thing. Like, give the man them kind of challenging question. I think asking him where he's going to live right now is irrelevant because of those other questions that have presented. The way in which I design my questions like this, Frankie, is when you answer. Like, I don't like to ask questions first because I like to hear when the coach answers a couple of questions before. Then now I can formulate my questions on the basis of what he said. I don't want to ask him something about what he did not say. So based on what he would have answered prior, I would have asked him those questions and find out. And then ask him if going forward we should see players that are not attached to a club being considered for a call-up, or if this was just a one-off, given the time constraint to pick the team and it is coming off of the transfer window.
See, the coach didn't pick the team. The coach didn't pick the team. People. No. But I'm saying, is this for? Look, I have no problem with him not picking the first team because he doesn't know the players to pick the team. He doesn't know what he doesn't know. I don't think he's done enough due diligence prior to taking the job for him to be informed. Because if he did, he wouldn't have picked certain other players he picked. If he knew if he did his due diligence the right way, and he assessed each of those players, and he picked this team he picked, I have a problem. The problem is even worse than I thought. Seriously. So there's no way he picked some of those players in the team. Not from where I sit. And people, let me say something, people. People don't realize this, people may say we are just YouTubers, whatever. All the YouTubers that me know who cover Jamaica football live the football. They don't just talk on top of them head like no one know them talk about. They live the football. They follow other football leagues across the world. They live and breathe football. At some point, each of them become informed. They may become informed at different level. They may understand at different level, but they become informed people. So when you're just talking other, you know what? We're talking from an informed place, like I said before. And some of the things that you said today didn't sit right with me.
Some of the things that well, I mean, I think, all right, listen to me, this window for me is a gimme window, right? I think the window that is going to be under the microscope is the November window, Frankie. Yeah. I think this window
is it November or October window? I thought it was October window.
I think it's October, yeah. The thing is that, but I'm thinking that is going to be the microscopic window, because all transfer dealings, everything, all of those things would have been trashed out by then. And then their players would be where they are and everything. Because I think Casey Palmer is at Hull City after this. He's not going back. When he comes here and go back, he's going to Hull City.
Right.
So I think all of the players them who would be available to us would have been settled on where they are right now in terms of after the transfer window and thing. And I think come October, it has to be a different what would I call it? It has to be a different mindset. And I even thought that in terms of the Leon Bailey situation, right? Leon Bailey got called back to the team, whatever process the JFF was talking about they wanted to implement. He did what they said he did what they asked him to do. So I think even asking a question of that nature, to me, it's like majoring in the minor and going back to something where you just want to stir up some form of controversy to go write a paper on a controversial paper, while not necessarily focusing on the bigger issue. And the bigger issue is, as I said, in terms of looking at the recruitment strategy when it comes on to certain players. And I think people would want to say that there are certain questions you can't get to ask, but those to me was more pertinent than like where you're living and all of those things. But that's what my office said, thank you. Okay?
All right, CC, I appreciate the call,
yeah,
CC. Thanks. Mm-hmm. So people, I'm limiting the calls, no matter who you are, to 5 minutes, because I know this is a hot topic. And by the way, you guys heard me. So Tuesday I said, because I'm in the last show for the week, and then I was talking to somebody, not gonna say who, about the JFF and fans and criticism, and I decided to do a show. And they're gonna prompt on this today to do a show. So I didn't mean to do shows, but certain things cannot bug you. You have to talk about them. Good evening.
Good evening, Frankie. How are you, sir?
I'm doing well. How are you doing? Who am I speaking to?
This is Brent. How are you doing, sir?
I'm doing well. Brent, how are you doing?
Good. I just have one comment. Yes. It is no surprise to me that he was given a list of 50 players that we're potentially looking at, and all of a sudden, as Jamaican does say, all of a sudden, those players are now being selected by England. They end up on England's call-up list.
Well, I don't think that's necessarily him per se. Here's what I think happens. Lee Carsley, who's the interim coach, knows all the junior players. He coached a junior team. And we've been talking to the JFF, don't listen, because they're hard-headed sometimes. I'm not beating them, but they're hard-headed, whereby at some point in time, England's going to say, you know what? Like they did with Smith Rowe and Ainsley Maitland-Niles, I'm going to cap all these players so I don't have to have this pressure. Because not Jamaica alone, no. It's Ghana, it's Nigeria, it's all those countries which were English colonies at one point, where they have migration to England. They are producing players, and those players are now vastly between playing for England or playing for us. For example, Lookman, who is Nigerian, who's not playing well because he blossomed late, he can't go for England anymore. They may have called him in this England team, given this form, but he can't play for England anymore. So England's going to say, you know what? There's a war for talent. I'm going to produce that talent. Our problem is we have this ego thing where we're basically saying, "No, I run on nobody because we that great." And it ain't working.
That is true. That is an error on our part. The way we look at life and look at things, thinking that if we call you, if you come because we're great. Right. Everybody great. Everybody view them team as a great team. But I just find it somewhat, I don't know, for lack of a better term now, I'm going to find it surprising that all of a sudden the players that we give him a list of, those players are now being looked at in England because they're going to be capitalized. Even Gibbs White, once he plays 1 or 2 games, they'll never call him again. The players now, and it's very difficult because if I live in America and America call me, I mean, like, boy, you know, the one of my friend, them, I go see me, everybody know, we know I go see me, so therefore I play here. But if you don't have an opportunity after that to be called up again, why take that? But you can't tell people what to do because that's how them live and grow, the culture, them friend, high school, you know, come all the way up. But I just find it surprising in a way that the players that we're looking at, the players that we're courting, all of a sudden end up on England's list. Even if England don't want them, you know. But therefore, you know, that talent now belongs to me because they did the same thing with Phillips. They won't call him as a midfield player anymore because he washed up. He might have maybe a good 1 year run and they call him, capitalize him. Right. Can't come to Jamaica anymore. And I think that's what England is doing. Put them in my bank. I have them for me, and therefore nobody else can get them. So
here's what people like Rob Smith are missing. I'm going to put up Rob Smith comment. England cannot appease all those players, Rob Smith. They have too many heritage players, not only from Jamaica. They can't appease all of them. They can't play all of them. They can cap most of them, so they can't play for anybody else. But they can't keep all of them. Right? They can cap all of them if they want to. And that he says he's going to bring in more players and cap them. That's what Lee Carter said. These are not the last rung. The Lewis of the world from Man City, the Gibbs White from Nottingham Forest, he's going to bring in more of them and cap them. So they can be, and if you get one cap over 21, you can't play for anybody else. That's what the strategy is going to be. Now, you may blossom later and get more caps, but that's how it's going to be from now on. So when we don't pursue them, and if McLaren says, well, we got to wait till they're 27, 28, well, you know what, McLaren, I'm not comfortable with that. I don't want to do that. And why are you saying they should play for England because they're born in England? You're not allowed to say that even if you think it. That's not your prerogative to say.
I agree with you in that sentiment. If you're my national coach, why would you say that? Exactly. Because we need for them to come, because one of the things they were saying that we don't get these players young enough, that's why they don't come into us. And when we try to go after them young enough, you're telling me, no, they're supposed to play for England. No, they're supposed to play for who they want to play for. We must pursue them, make them feel wanted, and therefore they can select Jamaica.
Right. Totally agree. Totally agree, Colin.
All right, Cranky. Have a great evening, my friend. We'll keep watching.
Yeah, thanks for the call.
All right, bye.
All right, people. So people, we have 170 people on the chat or something like that, and we have 102 likes. So all of a sudden, my throat just get dry and I can't talk anymore. I don't know what happened to me sometime, you know. I'm here just talking, and my throat, you must say throat, so it's me, a real Jamaican people. My throat just get dry. I can't talk anymore. But when the lights go up, all of a sudden, my throat get moist. So maybe till the lights can go up. Maybe some water. Me talk to when the lights can go up. I can't do talk so long and the likes them so low. We have 174 people and we have 104 likes. That doesn't work for me, people. I've told you guys this before. Not for the ones with the like. If you come on my channel and you don't like the program, I support you going to watch somebody's channel. But if you're going to stay on the channel and you don't hit the like button, I don't want to talk to you. It's just plain and simple. You may be offended by that perspective. You may say, "Oh, Cranky think he is." I understand all that views. But go watch somebody else's channel and don't hit them like button. Don't come to my channel. Don't hit me like button. Me not leave them way there. It's free, by the way. If you push the like button, it's free. It doesn't cost you a thing. My time is important too, because I spend time preparing for this program. I spend time analyzing the video. I spend time doing writing. I spend time doing research. You don't do none of the time there. So when you come on the show and you don't want to hit the like button, that's a problem for me. So maybe wait till you hit the like button and it go up to at least 150. Let's be now on top. So if you want to leave, I have no problem with you leaving. See, going from 177 to 164, I'm comfortable with that. Me talk to the 118 who hit the like button. If you don't want to hit the like button, go watch somebody else's channel, people. That's what me still. And by the way, if you haven't subscribed yet, please subscribe. Because the subscription doesn't go fast enough to people. What Vinton Campbell is saying, when you start this thing, all the coaches for no reason start supporting the national team. Lord help us. So Vinton Campbell, who is disliking the coach? In Vinton Campbell, please explain to us who's disliking the coach. Nobody's saying dislike the coach. We're calling on something we saw, which we're not comfortable with. If you have a problem with that, we can't help you, Vinton Campbell. Yesterday, I was here preaching for reconciliation with the fans and the JFF. How come they don't do that? How come they don't come in here and complain about and say, well, I praise Cranky for trying to bridge the gap between the fans and the JFF? are calling out the fans for not going to games. How come they just come in now and just criticize someone? All the man will come and criticize, but we are beat coach. When we do something positive, we don't get no flowers. We don't understand the concept. If you want to beat, it's fine to beat, but give flowers and flowers are due. Don't come on my channel and then want to beat me about certain things. When I have positive things to say, you're not also giving the flowers. You can't have it both ways. The likes are only 127 people. The people, if the viewership goes to 127, I'll start. But the likes have to go up. The likes have to go up. I mean, nah, talk about no football or nothing until the likes go up. It's 127 to 160. And a bad boy. Nah, sir. Bad boy Warren. There's no such thing. I'm not in the badness. Carla, we can't talk. Carla, we have to wait until the lights go up, Carla, before we start talking. I don't know who the call is. Good evening. Who am I speaking to? Oh, hello? Hello? I think the person set up. It's the same person who called before. Maybe a bad call. The likes only 127 people. So the numbers are dropping. Went from 180 to 156. That's good, people. I'm fine with that. So if you're in the chat, you don't want to hit the like button, then please go watch somebody's channel, because I'm not talking about anything until the likes go up. So you should just leave, people. If you don't hit the like button, just leave. Good evening. Who am I talking to?
Thank you. Good evening. Vibes, man.
Vibes, man. Hold on, Vibes, man. Wait till the likes go up, Vibes, man. It's been
hit my likes long time.
I know you like, but everybody have suffer for everybody else. Everybody have suffer for everybody else, like, man.
You know, easy, you know.
Vinton. We'll talk. May I go back to Vinton? It's people. May I tell you the truth? It's 171 and 128. If you just come in the chat, hit the like button. The reason why we're not talking, people, I mean, I have somebody on the phone, because the likes are not where they're supposed to be. I can't call me. I didn't even know to call me no people. I'm in a good mood today. I don't make me vex. Nobody not clip me today. But no, I said, me not get no clip. Me decide to control the clip thing. Me not get upset. If you don't want to hit the like button, people, it's only 132 and we're at 180 some people. Please leave the chat. Let other people want to be here and hear what I have to say, be here. If you don't want to hit the like button, you come in. Or you're just going to sit there and say, you know what, make him stay there now and talk. Kill him, sure. Then kill me, sure, then. You have succeeded in your objective. It's 135 likes. It's 164 people. I'm not talking about any football until you hit the like button or you leave the chat. That's my philosophy. As Kamala Harris would say, that's my values. I'm living my values. Vibes, man, how you doing? How the family, Vibes, man? We talk about something. How the family?
Yeah.
Not talking about football. How the family?
Well, a little bit of pressure, you know, the kid that go back to college, know enough money.
Enough money. Enough money, Enough money, that Vibes, man. Enough money, Vibes, man.
Only big grand we are talking about.
Yeah, big grand. Especially a private college. Hey, me carry my neighbor go college 2 years ago, you know. Them tell me saying I get that full ride. Lie them tell.
I lie about them.
In fact, when I see the bill, why I still can't. I had problem breathing. I had to go. I thought I had a heart attack.
Well, I never drink. I'm have to take 2 shots. I tell you.
People, it's 139 and 164 people. We're not talking football until you hit the like. So those of you who come in and leave, the people, the ones who hit the like, just leave the chat, man. We're not kill the show, just leave the chat. Yeah, we should just talk politics and leave. Don't it, Jaham? Yeah, we'll talk politics. So we're talking about Weisman and him family and him kid in a college. Because people, the ones who don't want to hit the like button, please leave the chat. Please, I'm begging you. Because I don't think what cranky do reverse psychology. I don't know if you do reverse psychology. I'm not that smart. Leave the chat, people. If you don't want to hit the like button, leave the chat. It's 143. We have to get to 150 before we start back. And I'm dead serious about that. We're not gonna talk until we hit the like button. Cause that's how people watch a video. People now watch if the video have 0 likes. Nobody now see the video for watch it. And I want people to watch my videos. And you can go watch it later. If you don't hit the like button and it's so hard to press that button, then leave the chat. We don't want you in the chat. Trust me, we don't want you in the chat, people. It's 143. That means 17 people. I mean more than 17 has it in the chat. Because we went up to 170 something at one point. So more than 17 people have the like button. If you don't want to hit the like button, people leave. So some of you may be contrary cranky. You're saying, you know what? We can hold out and maybe the people just leave him in program. They may do that, but there's no mistake. Cranky, you sound like you're vexed for real. Is this the real crank? Yeah. There's a reason why we have the name Cranky, you know. We're at 146 people. We need 4 more likes, people. 4 more likes. 4 more likes before we go forward. We're not for caller. I'm very sorry, Vice man, but we're not saying nothing until the likes come to 150.
It's a small.
We need 3 more likes to get to 150. Me now bad up nobody.
It's a question me I give you still. It's a question me I
No, give me a question like somebody throw a grenade the other day now, Tuesday, and just leave the room.
Yeah.
And me jump on the grenade.
You know, say a question is like a grenade too. Me I tell you.
We still need 3 likes, people. Still need 3 likes. We're not talking about the football.
It's already peak question, you make me know.
Hey, Ricardo, hit the like button. You come in, Ricardo, make it 148 because the rest of the people don't know why hit the like button. People, I've been asking people, if you're in the chat and you hit the like button, why are you here? If you don't like the host of the stream, go watch somebody else stream now. I'm not vexed with you. I appreciate you coming in and view and leave, but please just leave the man. Take up space, people. We need 2 more likes. 2 more likes. 2 more likes. 2 more likes.
Hear your comments for my question.
Yeah, you'll get me in that trouble, you know. You'll get me in that trouble.
We're big trouble.
Yeah, okay, we reached 150. No, go on, Bison. Go on. By the way, people, I appreciate you hitting the like button.
Me always hear Gunner's boss say you was an army man. You was an army man for you?
I did spend some time in the U.S. Army, yes.
All right. Or you win a war. You think it's dropping bomb alone?
War,
battle
or war? Because the battle is just one aspect of the war. The war. Well, you have to be on the ground. You have to be on the ground to win the war. You can't win the war from the air.
All right. That's
but the air can soften. The air can soften off the ground.
Listen, man.
The air can soften off the ground.
That's why the man come, because a big war are going now. So I have to send one of them lieutenant to come find out where we are going with. You know me no joke.
I'm not that cynical. Vice.
Well,
I'm not that cynical.
Cranky. Let me tell you something, Cranky. You say to me so deep in the history of how these people operate, Cranky. Trust me. Me know how these people operate and it now come out of my mind.
So one of my friends believe that there are some people from certain countries who are very deceptive, and that's their most striking quality. Yes.
And them and the British people, the British white people, them are the most.
No, we're not calling
it racism. It's not a racism culture. Cranky, it's history. Cranky, you're intelligent, and you know history is history.
Yeah, no. There's part of history, but we want to manage these things as a sports channel. We can't tap into my balance view.
All right, so we are managing.
But you need people on the ground to win a war. You're right. Now, I'm not going to be that cynical and say he came here because of that.
We are going for the people and best player, no, Cranky.
Yes.
We are going for the people and best player. I don't have much to say, no, Cranky. We don't have much to say because we don't want to play stupid in the thing all the time.
Right.
We are going for the people, and that's all me I say. We are going for the people and best player. So you can comment on it. Because that, I don't fully think that way. I think down the line, they have the right, you know?
Yeah.
Down the line, there too, you see me?
Yeah, no, I hear you. And I appreciate
so if there ever a time for us to look into development, we have to start do that too.
No. Look. I've had some conversation with some people, and I think the JFF is trying to do the right thing. But I think the JFF needs everybody's help. But the JFF has not a good job of reaching out to his constituent and bringing him to the fold. And the stream I made yesterday was trying to address that, which is basically saying, look, people are right. At some point, England have woken up and say, you know what? We'll fight for the talent. We have been unharmed in going after that talent. We haven't created the vision or the strategy to deploy that, to go after that talent. So we are starting from way behind, right? And those kids, yes, they're born in the UK. They have quality players. They come to the UK system. They spend money developing them. So yes, those kids may want to play given their association with the country, their birthplace and all that. But a lot of those kids also grew up.
The Greenwood thing now going to sit right with them either, Cranky, because a big player.
Yeah, we're not really care if he comes, we go embrace him. Here's another thing too. So what we need to understand though is that when we have our quota system and our negative comment and our xenophobia, it's not helping us. Because when the coach, I'm going to read some of this. When you figure about it, I'm going to read some of this. When the coach will tell me about who is good and who not good. Really? Like we don't have eyesight to see.
Don't listen to these, Cranky. We don't listen to these people, Cranky. We don't listen to these people because we don't want them kind of corrupt my mind. We don't listen to them, Cranky.
So here's something that Corus call me. Corus, there's a difference between police and soldier, okay? There's a big difference between a police and a soldier. Don't conflate the two or confuse the two. Go ahead, Vice Man.
Can't keep so much time you leave becoming people ever alone.
You man see me a police coming to me in the military. Eh?
Cranky, I want to with the man, Cranky. Like how the coach come and bowl with him argument if you know what to expect. He man bowl and tell you the truth.
Yeah.
It's not like the Bible where Pastor Blake talk about to tell be a liar, we still believe it. The man tell you the truth and we don't want to believe it.
Yeah. No, look, I can understand why the kids may want to play for England. That's not what I'm fighting, you know. What I'm saying is that I don't think he's making the ultimate effort. You know what? Say I have 50 kids, and you can tell the kids, look, all of them can play for England. You know, age group about 50 people. You want to play international football? Look, I'm not going to talk about the strategy I think we should employ or deploy, but we've been poor with the strategy of recruiting. We have no, the JFF have not been doing recruiting. Let me say that. I don't think the JFF go to do recruiting. Sometimes it's low individuals, certain individuals who do recruiting, or them supposed to have some agent who don't do nothing. It's normally, most of the people who come in is probably through some ancillary method them coming. It's not through a direct JFF go talk to parents and talk to this. That's not how it works. Nobody fooling them.
I don't think.
No, they may have talked to Algrimson and given the name, right? But you didn't say the coach. So they give the coach a name. They didn't say no. We pursue them, you know. You didn't hear anything about we have 50 names and we pursue them, and we. Where is the recruiting strategy the JFF is employing to do this? And people say,
as an Englishman, he shouldn't have been the one who recruit player for us, Cranky. We have other players up there like Paul Hall and them to recruit the player for. Him not should have been the one who recruit the player for we. Him should just get some player.
If we have 50 players, people
join the camp, him surprise.
Viceman, if we have 50 players that was given to him, right? Then why have we pursue 40 or 50 of those players already? Why is he supposed to be the one coming to recruit all of them?
Yeah. Well, that means we're late.
But we have 50 players. Just like give my list. Here the people of Jamaican players. What mechanism have we put in place to go recruit those players? Or because we want Bossa youth, we now do that. Is that what the reason is?
But the man them not get the good player them like the man them where you talk about the young youth them when they come. They know them to call the youth them on
I told people this. I had 14 people on the list. I didn't get there 16. I heard there was 16. And only one of those players I heard, his club didn't release him, and it was one of the better clubs. People from Ajax, Chelsea, Tottenham, and we decided to have a quota system and don't call them. So here's what happened. When you deny those kids the ability to come play for your junior team, why would they even consider playing for your senior team when they get good enough to play in the EPL?
Why Cranky me? I go come off my phone. One thing I tell you, I see him transportation. I see, I'm not sure I want to take that ride there. Me not see no upper class thing I go on, Cranky. Me not think, I take that ride there.
Yeah, and I hear you.
Now I see if the money college thing I turn up something. I go better. Me see if the money people to the college thing.
Yeah, no. The college thing is the first thing. As I tell everybody, players, coaches, fans, your first obligation is to yourself and your family. Everybody come afterwards. Even your country come after your family because some of your country abandoned you.
But if you see something, I go on Cranky. If we get a feel good factor, we sacrifice and take the ride. Me don't see it Cranky. Me don't think, I take the ride, brother.
Yeah, well, me observe. Me there watch.
Well, me I go and watch you do. All right, if I see something change, you make me know, brother.
All right, vice man. Appreciate the call.
All right, cool.
So Claudine, I call you Claudine. Can you remember Claudine? Yesterday I told you that Hutchinson was going to come play for Jamaica. Claudine, and he said Cranky is praying. I do have sources, Claudine, even though sometimes my sources restrict my ability to talk. But they tell me this is not for public consumption. But I do get intelligent information from a number of sources, not only for Jamaica, but like EPL stuff. Like a friend of mine that texted me about a Nunes agent being at Arsenal and about another player, when I mention him, name it, because I mentioned that, being Arsenal. And even the Sterling, we hear them think they're from a long time. But sometimes people say you can't talk about it because they might have certain sources. And then one of them sources said, boy, them give it up and not be source going forward. I'm not going to say I'm the guru and not Fabrizio Romano, but I get incremental information sometimes about certain things which I can't talk about in public domain. And somebody tell me something is a secret, it's a secret. So let me say this, people. If you're a critic, you may argue McLaren's commendation, the concept of this. While he may be well-intentioned, there's a real challenge that's out there about the perception of him when he come on national, in a press conference talking about the players should play for England because they bond with them. How should you be feel as Jamaica when they're heritage players? When you have players like Lambakisi and Anderson who come when them that him 20 yet, and Connor Boys, Clark who come when them junior. Doesn't mean all the young kids want to play for England. That's nonsense. when you praise the local players and say how great they are, because you watch Cavaliers beat you know, my head hurt me, people. I don't know why, you know. Yeah, I've headache when me think about it. You come on the national platform and tell us how great Cavaliers got the young players. And we know what Cavaliers' ability is. Cavaliers had 11 players in the 50-man squad that's supposed to go to under 20. Maybe half of them went. They got 9 from the US. We know where Trinidad football is or isn't, and where police is. We know the ability of our football. How much of them I get overseas contract and get to stay overseas. Now people say cranky, beat the local players, them, discourage them. Then you're being disingenuous based on what you're seeing. We all agree that we have to re-engineer the local football program. We have to get our kids in Jamaica to be at the same level and increase the pool of selection. I didn't hear Hagrimson and Jan Wall talk about how great the local players are. Let me repeat that, people. I think Hagrimson may have hinted something, but it never materialized until when he got ready to leave, him start put 8 players in that team, and even one from the JFF said, no, him put 8 players in that team. Jan Wall wanted to go overseas and recruit players for the under 20 team. That's why he got fired. And if you praise the local players, Steve McClaren, you're going to create unrealistic expectations or mask the need for significant improvement in areas for the Jamaica football. If you come on national program talking about how great they are, and then they go to a national stage and then perform poorly, you're setting them to fail. Now, I will say this, McLaren. Is this a diplomatic gesture you're doing? Are you trying to ingratiate yourself to the Jamaica community and to the local stakeholders, rather than a reflection of reality in your assessment of the capability of the team? What are you trying to do? Let me ask you again, McLaren. Is it I want to ingratiate myself to the JFF and the local football community, the local coaches, some of them who are anti-naturalization, who are xenophobic? Is that what you're trying to do? I thought your only job was to get to the World Cup. Because you then said in that news conference, it wasn't only the World Cup, you're talking about the development. Or you think you're still at FIFA, where you're part of the process. We do your remote assessment. I don't know how anybody can stay remotely during COVID and talk about how great the talent is, unless somebody told you that. So I'm really confused about what you're saying. I am just really confused about what you're saying. Yeah, I'm disappointed about what you're saying, McLaren, because I was one who said I'm going to give you a chance to be successful. Now, some people will say, hey, Clarence, that's why people can't come deal with Jamaica, because all you YouTubers want to do is come beat the coach and not him coach him first game yet. But your profile, what you say, what the optics are, what the substance are how subject to evaluation by every single fan for every single football team in the world. And when you come out here in the public domain and talk to us, informed football fans, we may not understand all the nuances that inform a football program, but we know enough to be dangerous. And we know you talk garbage. Garbage you talk. Sorry. Hate to be that brutal, but you talk nonsense. We're not buying that. Because we know what we know what we see. I went and watched a local team play against Guatemala when they drove Guatemala in New Jersey. I didn't walk away saying we have all these excellent players. I watched the under-20 play where Reed played in the under-20, and it's not to beat Reed. He wasn't a standout player. How he get into our national team? What are we talking about? How he get into the national team? Based on what? So where is Brandon Cover? Where's Delano Splat? Where is DJ? Where are all those other midfielders that we have? Where is even when Ravel than him deadbed, he can go play better than the person you bring into the national team. Better than all our midfielder. When even Ravel now playing on football up on the street corner, I hang out. He's better than all the players you have in the midfield. What are we talking about, people? I am just totally confused. And that's why we struggle as a country with certain things, because we put up with nonsense. And you people in those press conferences who are afraid to push the needle and ask the tough questions, you guys are a joke. Now, I come on this program saying, I don't want to beat people, but I'm getting fed up with the nonsense. Here's another thing, people. when you say certain things, I'm gonna give you an example. Something that happened to me once. I won't say which company. I was in a company meeting once, and they asked me to ask questions of the CEO. It's a big company. I won't say what the company was. Company wanted to console me, and it was a arrangement. There was about 700 people there for legal compliance internal audit. I was in the audit group, and they say, you're part of the diversity leadership team. Come and ask questions. And I said, I just want to go sit down and watch and observe the CEO talk. I don't want to participate. They're like, I said, no. I went to the meeting. The first thing the man come up and say is that we're not going to go out and recruit. And I said this on this program already. And recruit any person who is diverse, which means black. We're going to groom the one we have. Now I was at the company for about 5 years. There were a ton of us. So I put my hand up and says, I've been here for 5 years. I have no idea what you're talking about. What people you're going to recruit? What people you think you're going to recruit? You're going to groom? You're going to groom people who are not here? What are you talking about? I phrased it a little bit more diplomatically. What was the gist of it? Now, he spoke for about 15 minutes. I have no idea what he said. I went back to my desk and my phone blew up, people. Right? My phone blew up. Because I figured maybe I'm not that smart or aware as I should be. Because I asked these tough questions. Some people was like, I got calls from, I'm in New York, from England, from Hong Kong. Hey, I'm not going to say what my reading, but they would say, hey, Cranky, I heard you found a new job. Oh, Cranky, I heard you ask the CEO a question. He's still answering it. You know why that's important, people? Because sometimes in certain environment, you have to ask questions. And it's not because you're trying to dig at people, but when they say certain comments, they need to be feel uncomfortable by talking nonsense. They need to make me feel uncomfortable by talking nonsense. If you're going to be a public domain and say certain things which you can't substantiate and justify, then you should put on the spot. I don't believe in putting people on the spot most times. I believe in compromise and being conciliatory. But if you're going to say certain things in a certain environment and you're going to push the needle, then you need to be put on the spot. And I don't think it's okay for him to come and say that that he's not going to recruit players because they should play for England because they're born in England. What kind of nonsense is that? How can anybody in their right mind be okay with that? How come you guys are some of you guys are okay with that? That's why we have beat the coach. The coach said it. I didn't say it. He said it. And he's gonna be, and he said it, and he's gonna be in the public space with that statement. And he's supposed to be Jamaica coach. If he thinks it, he should not say it. Oh, how could the JFF be comfortable with that? Hey, JFF, how can we comfortable with the coach saying that? In JFF? Hey, coaches in Jamaica. Hey, media personnel. How come you guys are comfortable with that statement? So Cranky's totally wrong on this. And Cranky go off on his tangent like he normally does, and he's trying to create rift. Is that what it is? Does that make sense to anybody? So the people who new in the chat don't want to hit the like button, but I'll keep talking. I'll cut the program. Now slow it down for now. I don't understand people. So I'm gonna talk about the squad, but I must admit I am extremely frustrated by what the coach says, and I've lost some confidence in the coach. Doesn't mean you should not go to the game and support the team. Don't conflate the two things. Every person in Jamaica who can afford to do so and have time should go to the game and support the team. It's not the coach you're supporting, it's the people on the field. There are some people some people say it's the best team pick. You'll go to the team, people. Let me try to pull up the team. Pull up the team. But I don't buy certain things. I am not okay with the coach saying these things. I'm just not. You can't convince me otherwise either. I think when he say those things, it's being counterproductive. It's not helping anybody. That means he's not going to recruit those players who we wanted to go recruit. That shouldn't be his, if they're good enough. He's basically saying, I'm not recruiting those players, which is not okay. Yeah, well, I hope it's not, because the JFF want to go to the World Cup. There's enough money involved now. Rob Smith is saying he doesn't agree. Look, I don't want to beat any individual player, but I've seen these players play. And you can't convince. Let's go to the squad, people. Let's go to the squad. So goalkeepers, I have no problem with. Andre Blake, Connor Boyce Clark, Jamal Wade. By the way, Jamal Wade, big up to yourself. You've never let the country down. When they're done, Blake is keeping and he's not available, whether it's surgery or otherwise, or forever situation, you have produced. But you remind me of like a Ramsey with Raya. Only one person can keep at a time. So if the Don is available, the Don is gonna play. So life is. But you're a good backup. Connor Boys Clark, boy, I don't know you're going to keep it. Connor. Sorry. We're glad you decided to choose Jamaica. We appreciate you, Connor, but you're tough, but you have competition in front of you. It's one thing about being a goalkeeper, people. You can't even get substituted if not play well. All right? Yeah, gaming. Look, gaming. People have understand it, people. People may not like this. I said this the other day. 1 cap for England can give you more credit and more money in your pocket than 50 cap for Jamaica. Because we haven't done enough as Jamaica to create the environment or create a construct where those players can truly benefit from playing for the national team. Right? So we have to understand that. So some players will just take 1 cap for England versus 50 for Jamaica. Yeah. Which is unfortunate, frankly. But some players will just want to play for Jamaica because they don't want to play for England. As my friend Apollo told me, he doesn't follow England team. He follows Jamaica's team. And he lives in England. He really ever goes to Jamaica nowadays. So I'm fine with the goalkeepers. Defenders. Same list. Nobody new here. Same list. Amari Bell, I think, was injured the last time around. By the way, I see Damian Lowe is now in the defense, which is where he belongs, people. I'm going to beat Damian. Some people say me and Damian are friends, so I don't want to beat him. I don't have no friend player on the Jamaica football team. I respect the people who I've met. I respect the people who I haven't met. I respect all of them. If they're playing well, I give them their credit and their laudatory comments and their flowers. If they're not, I'm going to say they're not playing well. But there's one person who thinks I should be beating certain players because they don't like the player. You cannot tell me what to do or who I should like or don't like or who I should praise or don't praise. I have an own mind of my own. I make decisions of my own volition. You can't influence that. So when you go on people's channel talking about this, I should just ignore you and not give you any airtime because you don't deserve it. The defense is what the defense is. There is no addition to the defense. We haven't recruited anyone. Now he just come. Let's see how much people he can recruit because most of these people who come from England don't recruit anybody, frankly. So Dexter, Deshaun, Greg Lee, at least we have everybody available. Let's hope they are come people. Because sometimes people are available, but they are playing this weekend. They may get injured, you never know. Nobody should have no team they're not into now. They have team they can't make. Even though I'm saying Bobby Reed, I try to change team, Bobby Reed still come. Come with an excuse like Jamal will come up with. Palmer, Kara Anderson, Bobby Reed, John Russell. John Russell get called back, people. Interesting. And Adrian Reed Jr. An interesting one. Do you people believe that? Are you people comfortable with the midfield and the defense? Let me know. Are you comfortable with the midfield and the defense that we have here? Let me know if you're comfortable with the midfield and the defense because it's an interesting one. I mean, Casey Palmer has been decent. It's the same when I've nobody new. We need some. One thing the coach said though, which I appreciated. One thing he said I appreciated in that comment, which not sure resonate with people. Someone asked him the question if there's a cutoff point. And he basically is saying, I have no cutoff, which I totally agree with. There's no such thing about cutting off talent, people. That's nonsense about, you know what? The squad is set. Let's fix. Nobody's position is safe. This is not some organization where we have restriction on who can pursue positions. It's a football team. You're going to bring the players who best fit your system and who are the better players. There should be no cutoff. And I agree with that wholeheartedly. You find somebody who can help you, and they're going to say, oh, you know what? I have a cutoff system. That's nonsense. So that's the midfield. And then the forward line, I thought Shamar wasn't playing much football. Norman Campbell, Michael Antonio is playing. I am supportive of Kaheem Dixon being here. I'm supportive of Kaheem Dixon being here. I'm supportive of Kaheem Dixon being here. Can't say much I say that. I like Kaheem Dixon quite a bit. Watch him play up close and personal. Like the kid's attitude, like his ability. He should be there. I see where the prodigal son have returned. I assume he wrote his letter. I'm assuming. So Jay Garner saying, who's John Russell or Adrian Reed? Cranky Life. Well, John Russell is a midfielder who played, I think, during Gold Cup. I think he scored 2. I think he was only called for 1 window and wasn't called back. And people have been asking, he's big, tall, player. It's kind of slow, frankly. But the question is asked, I got some intelligence on him from some source, so I won't mention it. But he wasn't called back, and now he's back. And then Adrian Reed is a midfielder who played for Cavaliers, who kept in the under-20 team. And enough said. So know yourself saying, Cranky, the cutoff only applies to diaspora people, not the domestic. Cause if JP Balla started mash up. Yeah, look, there is a quota in the national team too. So people from JJFF saying the only quota is at the youth team, that is not true. Now, if you want the quota be, I try Bossa Youth, or the more diplomatic term, I'm trying to give a youth an opportunity and some exposure, but there's quota in the national team. You cannot convince me otherwise. As some of these players would not be here. There's not a lot of them. And by the way, to me, Kaim Dixon should be here no matter who is available. He's not a quota to me, but there are other quotas in the team. You can't convince me otherwise. I like Kaim Dixon quite a bit, actually. I know some people were giving me a hard time about him, and I like the kid. When I went to Dallas, I saw him play. Didn't get a ton of time. Like the kid. Like his attitude. Like he's running off the ball. Like he's two-footed. Like the kid. Are they good? Well, the coach said he watched Cavalier play and they were excellent. Here's another thing, people. So here's what I'm struggling with. So if I come watch you play football at your corner league, right? And you show up really well against the other corner league team, right? You show up really well against them. Are you then a very good footballer? Or are you a good footballer at the level you're playing at? I am flabbergasted, shocked, appalled, disappointed, amazed that a coach of such pedigree is going to tell me how great these players are that he saw when the competition wasn't that great. By the way, people, we saw Cavaliers against Cincinnati last year. Those of you who watch football and watch a lot of football, we saw Cavaliers against Cincinnati. It was like, I'm trying to find the right analogy of team. It wasn't really the US against the under-20 team, but it wasn't far from it. I think one time Cincinnati made about 500 and something pass, and then Cavaliers made about 60, 70, whatever the number was. It was a ridiculous differential. Oh, it was this year? Sorry, know yourself. Mr. Last year. It's even worse than I thought. It's even worse than I thought. It's even worse than I thought. So when you're the coach of the national team, you're going to lose credibility when you come talk to an informed audience and you want to tell them how great certain players are. And if I'm a player hearing this from the national team coach, I'm going to walk away with my head up hold high, say I'm a great player when I'm young. Now, someone said, Crank, you're doing the opposite thing. You're beating these players and you're discouraging them. No, I'm giving them a reality check. Paul Evans said, Cranky talking foolishness. Hey, Paul Edwards, that's your. You know, I'm going to be nice today. See what people. See, I'm good people. No, don't give me credit. I'm going to go off and go get vexed enough. When you just beat me one time, I go off. Paul Edwards, that's your opinion. I appreciate you being here. I hope you hit the like button for you being here, so you see me talk foolishness. But not everybody think I'm talking foolishness, Paul Edwards. Because Paul Edwards, have you been watching Jamaica football on a continuous basis? If we're going to use police from Trinidad as the basis, as the benchmark to assess the capable players, then Paul, I have no idea what to say to you. I don't know what to say to you. I don't know what to say to you. The man keep talking about how, here's what McLaren confused me with. He comes, this first press conference, he talks about the assessment process he went through and how much talent Jamaica have. And I said at the time, McLaren, you sit in your throne in Netherlands or England talking to some people at Jamaica football and you're going to say how great the talent was. What's your evidence to substantiate your position? That's the first question. You have lost me there and you lose credibility. Your credibility gets further lost when you come here and talking about Jamaica should not recruit certain players at a certain age because they want to play for England. But you didn't say you engaged them and they told you that. At least you may engage some of them, but not all 50 told you that. Third, you tell me you sit down and you watch Cavaliers play a Police and how great they were and how much talent we have and we have to nurture those talent. I'm thinking, are you talking about physical talent or technical ability? I am just confused. I don't know what to say. I'm really confused. Yeah, I don't know if the point he's making, Pristine. And I've always said this. I'm hoping that the JFF reconstitute and re-engineer what they're doing. By the way, people, a friend of mine told me the lights were brilliant for the Cavalier gear. So let's give them some credit. Let's give them some credit, people. A friend of mine told me that the lights were brilliant for the Cavaliers gear. So much, even though it was bad the last time, not having the lights, much love out to Bob's Degree and whoever else make it happen, and Ricketts and all of them who made it happen, because a good thing. We want that, right? We want positive news, because we have too much negative we always have. But if you can come tell me about how great those players are, McLaren, what is the benchmark you're using to assess their capability? I think somebody called already. I called back in. Good evening.
It's Brent again. I was just listening to you talk, and then something came across my mind, so I wanted to share with you.
Okay.
I think the coach is doing what Jamaicans like to hear.
You mean locally based Jamaicans? Some locally.
The locally based Jamaicans. Yes. Thanks for putting it in clarity, because I think when we're, and I don't want to say egotistical, but Jamaicans believe in themselves so much that if you praise us, then we can look past the nonsense that's going on. Because if you tell us we're good and we're great, because it's the same thing. Jamaica has been good in the Caribbean for years, except, when Haiti's back on track, we'll probably get a good fight out of Haiti. But we're beating up on the Caribbean and we're acting like this is the rest of the world. This is South America. We're beating up on the Caribbean who probably don't take soccer, football as seriously as we do.
Right.
And then we're saying, okay, yes, the talent is good. And we don't want to discourage the young players. But if you take exam and you don't raise the level, if 55 is the passing mark, everybody do 55. We say everybody pass, but that's not the standard we want to keep. We want to keep a higher standard. And I think the coach came in and he's kind of talking to the locals, because a lot of people, the guys in Jamaica, they want to sell people. So therefore, if the guys are good, we can't sell them and make our money. We have to get out of this make our money mindset. And we have to say Jamaica, we need for Jamaica to be great in football. And what it means to be great. I took 1 point from the visual of the meeting today. The head of the, I don't remember, I forgot the gentleman's name, but he was sitting next to the coach. Him on him phone, him looked like him just disengaged. You're the head of an the head of an organization. I've said in board meetings, just like you have.
Yeah.
The head of an organization, even if he is not engaged, must look like he's engaged.
Yes, I agree.
Him on him phone, him look like him just want to make money, and it just the optics of it today kind of threw me for a loop. Looking at it from a business standpoint, like
you're saying the president was on the phone?
Yes, him on him phone, him a text, people call him, pick up the phone. The optics of it today was not great for me.
And you know what happened, Carla? Yesterday, the one day after the under 14 was probably even worse. They had a half, and this is not gonna blame Simon and JFF for this, but I'm just saying.
No, it's not Simon's fault.
No, not this one. The previous one, where somebody from one of the major newspapers was half naked on the stream, and on camera, half naked. Now, this wasn't Simon's fault. This wasn't the JFF fault, because you bring people in, you think that they're gonna be professional. But somebody should be observing this and taking them off the screen.
Yeah.
So if you say the president, and I like the president, by the way, I say this all the time. I think I get along well with him. But president, if that's the case, you have to do better.
Listen to me. The president, sometimes I don't think like a president walks into a board meeting, he looks like he's well briefed. Any question you throw at him, the president look like him just like, why am I there? So may I do a thing? May I try help out a thing? Him just always look, in my opinion, and I could be wrong. This is just my opinion. Him just look disengaged. Him don't look like him leading an organization who is destined for greatness. And I think the JFF need to ask for help from the diaspora or people locally, because I know there's bright kids in Jamaica who knows optics. And I don't think they ask enough for help, because there's a lot of things, in my opinion, visually, that I don't think they're getting right.
Yeah, and I know that's why JFF don't realize sometimes when them say, "Boy, because some of the JFF told me the other day that we're overly critical, and they don't know they can't please us." And I'm not going to say we're not overly critical. We're critical, but I'm not sure we're overly critical because when we see some of these things, we just like, you got to do better. And that's why sometimes the kids who come back and play for Jamaica, whether they heritage players or the local players who go overseas, get certain experience, they come back and say, "This doesn't work for me." And then some people on the ground can't understand that there are standards to be behold, and you have to improve your standards. And sometimes it's the people you have in the seats or the problem, and you should move those people out.
I agree. And as I was watching him, I said, from an optic standpoint, you need to know, and you have to have on the Jamaica colors. Look like you're in. Granted, you're at the top of the table. A CEO of a company is going to wear the company logo. Make sure I am selling the brand. You have to sell the brand. We have to sell jerseys. We have to make people want to be engaged. You have to understand the optics of what you're doing. The reason why we can't get the best facilities is because we need money. And at the end of the day, advertisers come in because you're going to generate money for them. It's not a talking point. You have to sell the product. If you have Ray and Nephew, there should be a banner there. There should be a rum buckle. It's selling the product. And if someone should be part of that notion, it's just sometimes it's just the optics of things just escapes them. I don't know why.
Yeah, and it's a good caller because I think, look, we want to help the JFF. We want to help Jamaica football. I know sometimes we come on this program, people just come to criticize, but we get frustrated. We call out things when they go well enough, but sometimes there's not a lot to call out, to be honest.
No, it's true.
That's the problem. And we're tired of calling out. We want to come on here and just be doing praising and exalting people and lauding them and complimenting them. That's what we want to do, JFF and everybody that's involved in football. So whether Steve McClaren even come and talk about saying now I'm going to recruit non people who are 24, 23. Where's the Steve? Go back at your yard. Go back at your yard, Steve.
Yeah, for real. I agree with that one.
Go back at your yard.
That's great. Because you have to look for the youth them. So with the people, one, Jamaica needs to know there's young people, there's a future in it.
Yeah.
If Mason Greenwood didn't have his problem, we wouldn't get him because England would have capitalized him already. So instead of we spend the time to fight certain things, let's try to build up the organization. It's not always going to be perfect for us, but let's get it to a place where, because what happens, what people tend to not understand, the better the senior team does, the money floats downstream. The better the program is at top, it feeds everything else under there. Even in college sports in America, the football team that generates the most money feeds everything underneath it. If the senior team is playing very big against big name clubs, that money feeds underneath. And we have to make sure the senior team, granted, if the senior team should not look as we're selling a player. We want the best product up there because the money that generates feeds everything. And we need to communicate that to the people. And I think a lot of time we lose that in translation. We lose that in conversation. That's just my rant. I'll stop and let you talk. I'll listen in.
All right, sir. I appreciate it.
All right.
Thanks for the call. No, I agree with the caller wholeheartedly. And I was told by somebody, Jeff, that we are a brand and we're going to associate with certain people. If that's the case, you got to look internally first in the mirror and then make a decision. By the way, Andre Moore, yes, Andre Moore, I said this a while back, but I also said subsequently that he wasn't coming. So, Andre, you're probably late. You probably don't come to my program too much. I did say the other day, he's not coming. He's waiting for England. I did say that, Andre Moore. So you may be late in what you're saying here because I did say that he's not. I was told before he's going to come by a good source. The source did come back and says he's not coming, and I did express it on my program. Good evening. Hello.
Good evening.
Yes.
Good evening.
Good evening.
I just want to make 2 points.
You only have 5 minutes, So you cannot make 2 points. You cannot make 2 points. Let me stop you right there. You cannot make 2 points. It's not in your disposition. It's not in your makeup. It's not possible. So I'm gonna give you 7 minutes versus 5 that everybody will get. But you can't make 2 points. It's not. Then you will not be you, and we'd like the old you. So be yourself.
I am me, but I'm not going to be on the platform once the sun sets. So don't waste my time.
The sun set in New York already. The sunset where I am already.
I'm not in New York. I'm in North Carolina. And outside is very bright. I could video call you and show you.
Okay.
Anyway.
All right.
I won't be on the platform when the sun sets. So, no. One, when I said that the president said they would be meeting with the coach after the first press conference when they did unveil the coach to us,
right,
that they will be meeting to deal with the composition of the team. You were one of the persons that disagreed on another point, not on that one. But I want everybody to know that the composition of the team, being what it is, was dealt with by the leadership of the JFF as the president stated that they would be doing with the coach. That's point one. Point two is, as a result of point one, this team is a disappointment. And the reason it is a disappointment is that it was a disappointment before McLaren as coach, and it will be a disappointment for as long as the JFF continues in their xenophobic behavior and their discrimination against Jamaican citizens solely because they were not born on the island. And they have a pocket preferential treatment for those born on the island. I am going to state that if this continues, because we do not have an international window outside of the Nations League to get the team ready for World Cup qualifiers, we are already not in the best position in World Cup qualifiers because we're not the best first place team, nor the second best first place team. So we will not only need to win every game in the World Cup qualifiers, but we will need to win by significant goal differences. If he does not use the Nations League window and matches to get the team to develop chemistry or synergy, whatever adjective you want to use, Jamaica is not making it to World Cup 2026. This foolishness is going to take us to a place of embarrassment. There is no way I am going to accept this team unless I hear that players like Wes Harding, who would have been a better pick over Hector, because Hector has not played since I'm not even sure if he's in training with a club because he was released from his club. There is no way Adrian Reed Jr. is of a higher caliber than Cover, Platt, Daniel Johnson, and the rest of them. There is no way Kaim Dixon is of a higher caliber than Tyler Roberts. There is no way you select a king over Wes Harding, who plays both centre back and right back. This stupidness, and I'm calling it exactly what it is. By no football metrics, these players are selected based on quality. And don't tell me anything about talent and the possibility of where they can reach. Jamaica is in a precarious position, and we need to select the players that are of the requisite quality now, not players who can be good tomorrow. I have nothing against any of the players because they did not select themselves, but this is damn foolishness, and this team is a waste of time. Have a good day.
Thanks, Pastor. I appreciate the call. I can't believe you're that succinct. What happened to you? Okay. Please drink some Cersei tea.
Thank you.
Please drink some Cersei tea.
Thank you. I am cranky. I am very well, but I have been listening to several YouTubers. They seem very comfortable with this team, despite the stupidity.
Yeah.
That continues. And I am not. This is not a joke. And on no channel that I tune in on is going to come across from me like this is a joke. This is rubbish.
Well, the coach. Let me give the coach a break on this. He didn't pick the team.
No.
Some people say he want to continue the team from the last time. He didn't pick the team.
Frankie, I said that from the first press conference when the president made it clear.
Yeah.
Right? But why I'm not giving the coach no credit is that the coach is a big man. I believe he puts on his trousers by himself. So he should not allow anybody to influence him to tell lies.
Right.
Because all he has done is cover for the nonsense and the discrimination and xenophobia of the JFF and their supporters. This is utter nonsense.
Yeah.
Have a good evening.
All right. Thanks, sir. Appreciate the call. So people, let me say this. Here is deductive reasoning and here is thoughtfulness, which is this. If we have someone like Connors Boyce Clark in the team, has Connors Boyce Clark been fully capped yet? I don't think he's been fully capped yet to now. I'm not sure he's been fully capped. Even though he's come for a number of windows. When are we going to fully cap him? If you want to get a player like a Delano Splat, who some people don't rate, but they need to go watch him play football in the national team, because you talk about we shouldn't recruit people over under 24 who play for England. Some of these players who are in their academies and doing really well want to play for Jamaica. If you bring them in and give them 4 caps as soon as possible and lock them in, England cannot recruit them. Where is the strategy about the recruiting and change the dynamics? If you're gonna bust up, if you're gonna bust a youth like you bust Adrian Reed, why don't you bust Splat? Why shouldn't he be busted if he's eligible to play for Jamaica and he has his paper? Why shouldn't he get the bus when he may be a better bust than Adrian Reed, who you're gonna always have? Because he's not gonna play. You're gonna always have him. He's always gonna be available. He's Jamaican. He's not gonna play for any other country. Why won't you bust a Delano Splat then if the coach is so concerned about under 24 players not wanting to play for us, who may be heritage players? Where is the thoughtfulness and the strategy about how we go about doing this? It doesn't make any sense to me. And for us to come out here and say there's no quota in the national team, that's not true. There is quota in the national team. It's not as pervasive as it is for the junior teams, where the quota is explicitly stated that there is, even though the Constitution doesn't say that, which I find interesting. Hey, JFF, put the quota in your Constitution. Because you're so comfortable with it, and you say you have it, and your Constitution is your Bible by how you run the football program, please put the quota in your Constitution. Because your Constitution says something different nowadays. So you're anti-discrimination, and you don't discriminate anybody based on a bunch of different factors, including their race. And I've said it before, the Jamaica Constitution is anti-discrimination. It's clear, and I point out the section of the Constitution. So JFF, put your quotas in there, because you say they got the quotas and you're not going to change it because your stakeholders are. Put it in there. So how do you say these people, which is the team I've looked at? I'm not going to say it's a bad team. It's mainly the expected team. But there are a couple of names here which you scratch your head and say, why are these names here? Right? Some people have been given chance. Like you give some people chance after chance and they haven't proven that. They should give some of the kids in the JPL a chance then. If you want to bust a youth, there's got to be other people in the JPL playing who are young, who should be a bust, who should get a buster. Can't bust the same people from the same team all the time. Bust some other people. That's what you're going to do. Right? But there are other players who if you're going to create one spot or 2 spots for people to get bust, your busing should be based on ability of those individuals, if that's the concept and the idea and how you want to operate. So bust some young player overseas want to play for Jamaica, bust them too. So if they get good enough and can play for the country that they're supposed to be born in, but they're Jamaican, at least we can lock them up from early and they can't play for anybody else. Do what England is doing. Except when they pass 21, England have to bust them one time and that's it. So a lot of these players are not playing minutes. Yeah, WeMax is which players are you talking about, WeMax? The young players or the younger players we're talking about, or the because I know Cover just gone on a loan from Leicester to, where's he gone to? I forgot where he's gone to. What other players we're talking about, WeMax? Let me know. I think on this list, I think Hector is trying to find a team, right? But look, I'm not saying I'm criticizing the team. I'm just saying there are aspects of it. I know the coach didn't pick this team. You know the players. First of all, if you're a coach pick a team, you do like a Southgate and Lee Carter doing. You're going to go around and go to games and watch all the players we talked about. Find out all the ones who have Jamaican citizenship. Find out ones you can pursue. And you have to, and Steve McClaren, you don't have to wait until they're 30 to go pursue them, which you're inferring. That's not true. And if that's the case, have you gone and pursued Kyle Walker-Peters? He's probably late 20s. Have you pursued him? Or you think he's going to play for England? Which one? Because they all can play for England. No? That's one thing, people. They all can play for England. Or they can all play, but it won't be a long career. Somebody's going to get a 1 cap like Mains and Niles, or 2 cap like Tony, and that's it. I mean, Tony go play for Saudi Arabia, now playing no more football for England again. Career over. Now, some people will take them 1 cap and happy, but some players want sustainable international career. So Trevor's the good Trevor's gone. Say, McLaren should pick a brand new team to please diaspora, watchdog football police to please you all. Okay, Trevor's. We know how you are, Trevor's. Sometimes you lose your head because nobody's saying that. We're calling out what we see here. And by the way, I didn't even touch on the prodigal son. Prodigal son is back. Is everybody happy? The person who can't do nothing for. Are you guys happy? You guys should be happy. You should be happy, Trevor's. The person you can't do nothing for, you should be happy that he's back. DeMar Gray didn't play good the last win, you know. DeMar, you have to step up the game. Else we have to call you out. Somebody said there's a midfielder in JPL that's young enough and has all the tools to be a very good player, but him is not fit enough for a top level, so I should not call him until he turns pro. Well, we are boss of youth. Wouldn't. I don't know why I wouldn't boss him. I know we, man. You can't follow Trevor. You know, Presser head lick sometime, you know. Maybe him taking white wrong sometime. I know why Presser stays so. Sometimes he just go off and you just say, watch him like, what's wrong with him? And sometimes he was reasonable the other day. Which day was? Was it yesterday? Okay, half, you know when Presser reasonable. He was very reasonable, very eloquent, very articulate, very reasonable. And then some days him just go off. But I say him get 9 feelings about how we just want pure overseas players in our team. No. We want people in the team who should be in the team based on merit. We don't want people in the team just because them have certain affiliations. That's not what we want. Now, we're not trying to knock out the coach and kill the coach. What we're saying, coach, is this. You cannot come and talk to an audience and tell them you're not going to recruit certain players because they should play for England when they're born in England. And if any of you in the chat agree with that, you need your head lick. If any of you agree that a national team coach should say, the players who born in this country should play for the country, so I'm not recruiting them. Because this is what he's saying. When we have a ton of players of Jamaican heritage there, something is wrong with you. Something is wrong with you. You're being converted. You're like Clarence Thomas. Something is wrong with you. Not buying that. And for the coach to sit there and tell us about how great these players are that he watched last night. So Travis, a presser, more ask this presser. You agree with the coach about the talent in Jamaica? Yes, no, he was evident to do so, Siobhan. You're not mistaken. He's basically telling you he's not going to recruit those players because they should play for England. He said they should play for England. That's where they're born. That's what he said. You're not misquoting. That's what he said. Why, Henry? Henry, I thought that was supposed to be me getting all the thing. No, Henry. So Travis Suppressor is defending his player. No. Dixon deserved his call up. Well, I don't know about deserve. Dixon got him call up, didn't embarrass himself. Whisper got his call up, he played well. We've seen the other people play with the youth play. At least those players, first off, don't embarrass themselves playing against people their own age. They don't. So, Presser, I don't think your comment is fair, Presser. When you have 3 games and you can't show 1 game you play decent in, that's not good, Presser. Against people your own age. We're not talking about it's a big man football in the Presser. You got promoted for what? Why do you get Presser? Let's explain to me, Presser. Why would this player get promoted to the national team? Based on what, Presser? Playing against local footballers? Or do you judge him based on international standard when he play against his peers who are more junior and how he perform against them? As I've said before in the early section of the program, people, the one kid that stood out on that team was a kid that used to be at Arsenal, I was told, went to Leyton Orient, called West, I got the red card. No other player impressed me on that team. And them got 15 love people. I don't know what Presser talk about. Presser, you can't defend that. McLaren saying watch the Cavalier game and all the talent him see and how we quick and we strong like we are gladiators and how we the young team, baby team, beat up the 4-1, beat up. All that transpired. Them did beat up police, but is a police a good team? People, our benchmark is no longer the English-speaking Caribbean. Our benchmark is the US. I've said that 100 times. Our benchmark is Canada. Our benchmark is Costa Rica. Our benchmark is Honduras. Our benchmark is Mexico. Our benchmark is no longer Trinidad and Tobago. I don't know what Trinidad, they fell off a cliff. Our benchmark is not Grenada and St. Lucia and Antigua and Dominica, not even Cuba. Those are not our benchmark people. We're confusing ourselves. We try to go to the national tournament. We're trying to go to World Cup, our Gold Cup, our Nations League. Our benchmark are those teams, because we are people who believe in excellence and we aspire for excellence and we work to achieve excellence. That's what we do. We're not in. We as a nation are not secondary in anything that we do. Right? That's why Colin Powell had Jamaican heritage. That's why Kamala Harris have Jamaican heritage. And there are a ton of other people we can call out. There's some people that say Marcus Garvey, Jamaican heritage. Where we come from in Nigeria and Ghana and who we are, we believe in excellence. That's our history and it will not change. Yes, we are egotistical. Yes, we are arrogant, but there's substance to that. Should we narrow? We won't call that. We call it being confident. So we're not settlers. We're not settling for anything. We're not into no bust this and bust that. We into meritocracy. No, Remax is not before. It's still now. Just that enough people leave the island. And everybody can be excellent. Point I'm trying to make is this, people. When McLaren come talk these things, don't buy his nonsense. Come and talk nonsense. I don't care who he is. I don't care what he's achieved in his coaching career. He's talking nonsense. If you sit there and listen to it and you drink the Kool-Aid, I'm sorry for you. I'm not care whenever else me I try to beat the coach, can just start. Then coach, there is something you do in life, coach, which is this. When you're new to an environment, you keep playing the I don't know card until you get comfortable. You don't come out and commit yourself and say certain things which you can't back up and substantiate. You don't do that, coach. What you should have said when you asked about talent is, you know what? I'm still doing my assessment. Me and my team are doing our assessment. We're evaluating. We see some people with some raw materials which we can work with, but we're thinking through it. And we have to do the comparison. We have to see them in certain environment to make an informed decision. You can't come on national programs and national social media talking about, you see all this talent, when the talent hasn't translated from Jamaica to any place else. Coach, what is your benchmark? What's the criteria you're using? How are you doing your assessment? You keep telling us about your work with Jamaica during the assessment program when you did it remotely in your office someplace. You're disrespecting us, coach. You're disrespecting us and you're disrespecting our intelligence. And we're not having it. No, I think the press conference today was a in-person press conference. But I'm just getting, I don't understand. I'm just getting frustrated with this nonsense. We're not buying that, coach. We don't know some people on some plantation. We're not buying them things no more. We're done with them nonsense there. We're intelligent people. We're an intelligent nation. We're intelligent people. I want to be treated accordingly. Don't come and tell us this nonsense about how much talent we have. When that talent, when they go play international football, they might get 9 love from US. Stop the nonsense. They might get 3 love from Cuba. Who now play society, economy gone to the dogs. They might get 3 love from Costa Rica, one of them big country. What are you talking about, coach? What are you talking about? Ah, boy. I'm frustrated. It's only getting worse. And people, I'm not being the Jeff of hiring the coach because I don't think the coach is a bad coach. But the coach in first 2 press conferences, some things where him just stop talk. Coach, just stop talk. You're starting to annoy people where we don't want to disrespect your coach. They must say people are disrespect the coach. The coach is saying certain things, people, which I'm not sure you get comfortable with. It's not okay. It's not okay, coach, to say those things. Because the footballing community know what it is. And those of you in those press conferences and in Jamaica should look at like the man have 2 heads. And you should ask the JFF, what is he talking about? I don't know, people. It's frustrating. People, you haven't hit the like button, please do so. Coach Steve McClaren, them say you don't watch YouTube, so maybe somebody should tell you this. We in the Jamaica football community love our football. We understand the football because we don't watch Jamaica football, watch football globally. We've been watching football for years, many of us. Some of us not young like 433 or young like Big Deal. We think we have a good grasp of what those things inform a good football program. We want to support the JFF, and we know that you work with the JFF to help as FIFA initiative to try to improve the program. JFF, please come and discuss the document in some forum. You'd have to come on my program, but the one that I did for Trinidad the other day, do something similar. JFF, work to bring the people on your side, not opposite you, not oppose you. Secondly, coach, you cannot be in an office in England someplace and tell us that the talent is great in Jamaica when you yourself saying you need best players and you're going to recruit players in England. So all these players you're trying to recruit in England, 50 of them, supposedly better than Jamaica. So what criteria are you using? What measurement? What the players need to be 100 plus for you to say they're great, they're not good players? How are you making a decision, coach? How many players you see in the local league who can step in against those 50 you've said that could play for England? Because what we want in a coach, we want excellence. So we go pursue some of those players. Same when you talk about when I play for England, the reason why the people don't want them, because they give us the best chance to win, coach. We are confused about your assessment. What's your criteria for your assessment? Let me get some reality check from Peter. Good evening, Peter. Bless up.
Yeah. Greetings, Frankie.
How are you doing?
I've been listening to you. I'm fine, man. How about yourself?
I'm doing well.
I've been listening to you on and off, so forgive me if
it's okay.
If it's something I miss.
Sometimes you need to you need to take some time out from me because I'm not all easy to digest sometimes.
Yeah, but to be honest with you, so many people were on, and I kept switching back and forth between you, Crystal, and Unseen, and it was just kind of hilarious because Crystal is over there fussing
about
Unseen. I wasn't sure because like I said, I wasn't even listening to I couldn't listen to everybody, at length. But it sounds to me like her gripe was the coach picking Hector in particular because he's not with a club. And it sounded to me like, why not Ravel if you won't pick Hector? Something like that, because I hear Mikey Ballin responding to her that the difference is Hector is out of match practice for a month. Ravel is out of match practice.
No, that's not the difference. The
years.
difference is that the coach didn't pick the team. That's the difference.
Right. Well, I'm just telling you, okay?
Right.
You asked me what our gripe was, right?
Right.
But listen to you. I'm wondering if you are. It sounds to me like you are. It's almost like you're fussing about what the coach say. I think the coach actions over time will prove who he is, not what he said in the press conference.
No, Peter, back up, Peter, back up.
Yeah.
The coach is saying what's going to inform what he does, what he will do. The coach is setting us up and setting expectation with his comments. The coach is saying those people under 24 want to play for England, I'm not pursuing them. That's what the coach is saying. The coach is saying that I have local talent that are out there which I'm going to bring to the team because they're good enough to play, or we're going to get them to be good enough to play. That's what the coach is saying. We are saying, JFF, go do your job and develop the local talent. In the meantime, we want to go to the World Cup and want the best players to come play. Do not tell us who's not going to play for us. Let them tell you they're not going to play for us. Don't tell us what you think. We don't want to hear what you think. Go do your job. I'm going to recruit them. If they tell you no, we can live with that. That's what we're saying. Don't come tell us they should play for England because they're born in England. We don't want to hear that from you. Not from you, by the way, because you're English. Especially not from you.
Did he actually?
Yes. No, listen, go listen to what he said. He said they're born in England, so they should play for England. That's what he said. There's no ambiguity. Go listen to what he says. I'll go listen back to my first one. That's what he said.
But again, Cranky. I mean, you have to put in context that all of these statements that the coach made, was in response to a question. I believe that particular statement was in response to specifically Omar Hutchinson and Morgan Gibbs-White, right?
It was Morgan Gibbs-White was brought up, and the question was about they mentioned Omari and another player. It wasn't Morgan Gibbs-White, but Morgan Gibbs-White was the outset of saying he's been playing for England now. What about these other players? What's your recruiting? How's your recruiting going?
But
he avoided the question first. Then when he came back when he was asked a second follow-up question, that's when he said they should play for England.
But is he speaking specifically about those players?
No, he said no. What he's basically saying is that if you're 23 or 24, your first priority should be playing for England, And when you get to 28, 29, when you can't make England team anymore, then we should consider you. I will consider.
I will have to listen. I will have to listen to it again because when I watch the press conference, I didn't get that impression.
No,
I got
please
the
listen. Please listen.
Yeah, I got the impression that he was saying that it's much more difficult to recruit those younger players because they want to wait, whereas an older player, maybe 24, 25, 26,
yeah, that's part of his conversation. But he's basically saying if they're younger, they should play for England where they were born. That's what he said. There's no dispute in that.
I have to listen to that again because I thought he was specifically talking about Omari Hutchinson and Marvin
No, they were just examples of a broader picture and a broader perspective. And my view is this: even if you think that, you cannot say it. If you think that and you believe that, because part of the problem is you're conflicted. You're English. You used to coach the English national team. You lived in England all your life. You're born in England. You want England to do well. So the question is, will you go recruit the best players for England? Or are you going to feel like, you know what, they should play for England, so I'm not recruiting them. Let me get the people who may not be able to make the England team. And when is that going to be?
I have to bring up.
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead. I think Peter got cut off, you know. I know I had Peter. Peter must live in down south where, and a friend of mine down south, their connection, their cell towers are not that good. Peter, you still there?
Yeah, I'm here, man. I can't hear you. Can you hear me?
No, I can hear you now.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Peter, you keep going in and out.
I was saying,
no, say it again, because we couldn't hear you. Say it again.
I don't know it still.
Yeah.
Hold on a second. Let me move closer to the feed. Yeah. You have to remember too, you know, Cranky, in a setting. You can hear me, right?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah. The coach, to me, you know this. He has to exercise some form of diplomacy. You know, you and I know that this coach has been at this for 30-something years, right?
Yeah.
He has a wealth of experience, a wealth of knowledge, right?
Yeah.
I wouldn't get too hung up on the semantics, you know. Because
Peter, I'm gonna stop you there. These are not semantics. These are semantics is you concerned about some ancillary things. When you're talking about you're not going to recruit younger players, when you're talking about all the quality we have in the JP and we need to focus on that, I have a problem with you. We talk about the national team here.
I don't really get that impression because remember, I know
he just talked about how great the Cavaliers were last night and how brilliant talent there is. Where's the talent?
It was in response to a question about
yes. So my answer, no. What you used to say, no. There's better ways to answer it. There's something answer the question, which is this.
But that's what
I am still going through my assessment process. I'm looking at the talent. There looks to be some talent there, but we're still doing our assessment process. I'm new to this process. I can't give you some definitive answer about how great the talent is. I just see it over a period of time in different situations, different environments, different settings. There's a way you answer questions to make sure you don't look foolish later.
I agree with you, but I don't believe that. That's why I say I wouldn't get hung up on the semantics because I believe that he knows what he's doing.
No, but Peter, this is not the first time he has said that.
The political answer.
No, Peter, this is not the first. He said the first press conference. He said the second press conference. It becomes a theme after a while. And he has no basis for his opinion. None. Let me say this. He has no basis for his opinion.
But Cranky, we're going to judge him on his actions, right? We're not going to judge him off of. Yeah, so I think we just have to watch and see. It's just like the team, right? The team, people are saying that, he had to pick this team because he doesn't really know the players yet and all of that. Hasn't had his first coaching session with them yet. As time goes on, he will bring players in and out, and then we will see his team, right? This is Al Grimson's team, correct? This is not really his team. And it's the same with any coach going into any new environment. They rely heavily. Even Al Grimson said that when I watched.
So somebody says a big deal is your comment. Big deal says, given all the great talent he saw yesterday, you should tell Manu about them. That's a fair comment. That's a fair comment. If you think all this talent is so great, why don't you tell the other team overseas in England to go pursue this talent? They're young. They're great.
Yeah. And here's my thing about that too. You know, that's the very same thing. And I typed it in the comment section. I believe he was talking somehow about the youthfulness of the team playing against a more mature opponent and dominating them, you know? Because we all know the Cavaliers is made up of a lot of
they're kids. They are kids. They are kids. They are schoolboy
right.
kids. Yeah.
I think that's part of what he was saying, you know.
Here's the problem with that, Peter. Here's the problem, Peter.
I'm not perturbed the way you are, Cranky.
Yeah, well, maybe I'm just a cranky person. Maybe I'm just a cranky person.
It's two press conferences, all right, you know. And I hear you say he said some of the same things he's saying again, but the man will really be judged on his action. I mean, look at Presser, 433 Presser. Him say more Mason Greenwood, but get him sign the petition for not having Mason Greenwood here. So it's is it your words or is it your action that speak louder? And I believe over time, McLaren's action will be what we judge him on.
Right. Let me say this, and people may not like this, I'm gonna say it anyway. I don't know how we justify Adrian Reed in this team. What has he done to be in this team? Are we trying to give him exposure? So all the other players here, even Richard King, Raheem, all of them have played some way, shape, or form, overseas, whatever it is. What has he done to be in this team? To deserve to be in this team? What has he done? Now people may say, Cranky, here you go, belittling a little kid and blah, blah, blah. But he gets a promotion to the senior team based on what? His performance in the under-20? Would that be captain? And we saw him play 3 games against lesser competition. Why? It's not about the kid, but you have to call it out because he's in the squad. He didn't pick himself, so you know I feel a little bit unfair saying that, but I don't know how he got in the team.
So I listening to all the YouTube platforms, right? Over time, not just today, not yesterday.
All right.
I don't, you know, listen. I've said this many times. I don't watch a lot of Premier League. I don't watch, you know, I don't have time, right? I make it a point of duty to watch any Jamaican team when they're playing.
Right.
That's who I support. Somebody asked, the same press asked me which team I support. Jamaica Reggae Boyz is my club team. I don't have a club, right?
Right.
So I listen to all of these guys and I get my information from you. So what I've gathered about Adrian Reed from listening to these platforms is that he's an excellent player. However, he never showed. Apparently, a lot of people was disappointed in him in the U20s because they expected so much more.
Right.
But then again, how does a player, Cranky? I don't think we can use the U20 and judge it, right? Because it was such an atrocious, the whole thing, the whole team was just bad. So I don't think we can
use... Here's why we can, Peter, because there was a kid Welsh who got the red card who we looked at and said he has talent.
Right.
The one that got a red card that played the first game, played really, even against the US, he looked like he had ability, right?
Yeah.
Did you see anything from this other player that say, you know what, anything in any of the games, not just one game, anything and he's the captain of the team. Did he show you anything to say, you know what? Yeah, I think he has the ability to. But here's another thing. Let's not beat the kid. How do you get promoted to the national team based on those performances?
Well, I don't think it was. That's what I'm saying, Cranky. I don't think it was based off.
But it has to be because that's a level we're supposed to be judged against. We can't be judged against no Caribbean team. They're not good enough.
Yeah.
They're not good enough. We can't be judging against Caribbean team to get you in the national team.
But remember the coach said that he asked Meron, who is a local, because I think that was also another answer to a question, you know, because he asked about a local talent in that position. And then Adrian Reed was the person recommended to him. So I think that's how we got it.
So we have nobody in the JPL who's better than this player at any age. That's what we're saying. Nobody in JPL. So with JPL, that's how much team? Like 12 teams?
Maybe because he's a young player, right?
Right.
A lot of the players in the JPL are a lot older, and they probably prefer to take a chance on this player, given his trajectory.
Okay.
You know, somebody really have a problem with it. It's one youth, you know, and look, from Burrell days, we always had one spot for a developmental player. And we had that in Whisper originally, then we had it in Kaim, and now I think it's Adrian Reed's turn. And
if we're gonna bust a local youth in the national team, why shouldn't we bust a naturalized citizen in the national team who's young? Who may be better than the local youth? Why don't we do that?
We have a problem with that, you know. But I believe if we're going to reserve a spot for a developmental spot for a young player, I would prefer it goes. And listen, I'm in the diaspora. I have 2 sons, right?
Yeah.
I would prefer, and nothing will give me greater joy to see them represent Jamaica one day. I would prefer that one developmental spot goes to a local lad. You know,
and look, I respect your perspective. But here's my thing. If we're saying it's hard to recruit players who are under 24 in the national team, because as the coach said, they should play for the country they were born in. But a player show an inclination to play for you, like the kid from Ajax who I heard about, who has great pedigree, who captain Ajax under 18 team, and he's better than what I have. I'm trying to convince him to come play for me. I can cap him 3 times before he reaches 21, and he plays for me on a long-term basis. Why wouldn't I do that instead?
Yeah. I agree with you.
So I understand the view about local getting preference if both are equal, but sometimes the differentiation is significant enough for that not to happen.
Right.
If they're close in talent, I can live with that concept. If you tell me, you know what, Cranky, the delta is 2%, 5%, I can say, you know what, I can live with that. Local kid doesn't have the same opportunity, fine. But if delta is 30, 40, 50%, 100%, then I can't live with that. I'm sorry. That's not good. Yeah. Especially when I'm trying to recruit. I mean, people, we have a war for talent. People want exceptional players. US does whatever they can to go get them fight Mexico for players, them fight Holland for players, them fight England for players. Balogun, the kid from Barcelona who go back to Holland now, who come from Holland, the number of Mexican players who have dual citizenship, them fight for them. Like them life depend on it. And our chest is so big, we are saying we're going to use our local players. We're not the level they should be.
Well, Cranky, other than Adrian Reed and you know, the way the coach answers questions. You know, let me tell you something about me. See, I am married, and my wife is she taught high school, and she was an adjunct professor at one point at a university, just for a short time. So she has. I like to tell people I marry up, right?
Right.
So she has a master's degree and all of that. You know, she's a fantastic lady. No, I can hold my own. But I can tell you this, man. You know how many times I've been in a position where I either answer questions or I'm in a conversation, and later on or the next day, I beat up myself because I said, man, I could, you know, I missed an opportunity, or I could have said this, or I could have said that. My wife, on the other hand, she is quick on her feet. I make this analogy because you, Cranky, sitting in a coach's chair today,
right,
would know exactly how to answer those questions. I believe maybe the coach was you know, probably part of it is him trying to be nice, and part of it is him not quick on his feet. He probably think about it and probably say, yeah, he could have answered those questions differently. That's why I don't want.
So no, Peter, can I say this? Maybe, you know, we have this term, this colloquial term. Yeah. Some people try curry favor. You know that term there?
Right, yeah, man.
Yeah, I'm try curry favor. I'm try curry favor.
Yeah, so don't watch the words, man. Watch the actions.
Well, no, we're gonna watch the actions now, but we're saying don't come and tell me certain things twice, which that means how you're thinking when we know differently. When we know we're not think differently, we know differently.
Yeah.
You gotta be very careful. When you're in the public domain and when you're talking, you know, which I should probably take my own suggestion sometime. You gotta be very careful with it sometime, you know, because people gonna hold you to it, right? Somebody just called me up and say, I say Hutchinson was gonna play national team. I was told this by a good source. And I came back, the source came back and told me that Hutchinson is not gonna come and play between a number of people, agent, family, him not coming to play. And I told people that he's not gonna come play for the national team. And people were like, Cranky, you're wrong. And I'm like, no, he's not gonna play for the national team. He's now in the Premier League. He believes he has a chance to make England. Because all the kids, they grew up on a play for their country, their birth, right? We understand that. Right. What we're saying is this. Some of those kids are saying, I'm not waiting on you. Or some of them are saying, I don't like how you treat my people with your racism sometimes, so I'm going to play for my heritage. Right? They grew up in a household where they're taught certain things, they learn certain things. They're like, I'm not going to play for you. But if you don't give them any encouragement to come play for you, why should they come play for you?
Right.
That's what we're running into. So hopefully at the end of the day, As you say, hopefully his actions doesn't reflect his words, some of his words anyway.
So cranky. Like I said, I was going back and forth between some channels, and it was, just I find that we tend to pull, even we will pull a negative and just dwell on it, and I mean, to me, there are some positives, and we end up talking about the negative. You know what I mean? After
I didn't see the positives today.
Well,
no, I was so Peter. I had no intention to do it. I had no intention to do a program yesterday. I had no intention to do this program today. Zero.
Right.
You know why I did them? Because yesterday somebody called. Somebody and I were having a conversation, and they said, "You guys are overly negative on the JFF. That's why sometimes we just recoil, right?" And I said, "You know what? I think there's some validity to your perspective. Let me do a program and talk about this and get people's perspective and views and provide my perspective." Today, I had no intention of doing a program because I have no programs on Friday.
Right.
But somebody reached out to me and says, "What are your thoughts on this? Is this person loyal to Jamaica?" And I was like, And I started doing some investigation. And because I was running around and I get a chance to look at the initial press conference. When I listened to it, the whole thing, I was like, what the heck is this? What is this man saying? He's telling us he's not going to recruit players at a certain age because they should play for their birth. And he's coming, and when he's asked about who is he interviewed, I have no idea who he talked to in that 50 he had. I don't know if he talked to 5, 10, 15, 20. I have no idea who he talked to. As far as what he was saying, I'm not sure he talked to 10 people. And then last but not least, him telling me he watched some game and almost said, you know what, I have the talent I need here, so I don't have to worry about it. They're great players here. And we're like,
cranky. I think you're taking that.
No, listen to the man. It's the second time you said it. You talk about how fast we are. This is not track and field.
Those were in question too.
No. He's repeating
things.
He's repeating things that have been said on these channels previously by other people. He's repeating things by saying another people in Jamaica. That's all they keep talking about. How athletic we are, how fast we are, how big we are. This is about technical.
But he did say he asked about that to I don't remember if he said McLaren, but he asked about the Jamaican. What is the Jamaican style or the Jamaican way of playing? Right? And
what was he told? Wait. As a coach, first of all, do your own investigation, go watch videos, don't talk to one person to get that information. That's not what a coach does. You are coming into a new environment. You know what I do when I go into a new company? I get as much material as possible to read to understand how the company works. I go watch videos, I talk to people, I read a ton of information to formulate my own views. And then I watch over time behaviors that inform my views. That's nonsense to say I spoke to one person and they tell me something and I just run with it. What if the person is wrong?
I don't think that's what he means. Boy, cranky, you can be very harsh, when you're ready to criticize.
But am I being logical? Am I being logical? Yes or no?
No, I don't think you're being too. Have your wife?
I'm not being logical.
Have your wife ever told you that you can be very harsh in your criticism? Your wife have never told you that.
I've been told that I can be critical sometimes. Yes, of course.
Yeah, man. I think you're a little bit too much, man. Because
But wait. The court said wait. No. Wait. Back up. You know something? I'm gonna tell you something, Peter. When Unai Emery went to Arsenal his first time, you know why they hired him? Because he knew everything about everything.
Right.
Even though he didn't speak English well, they asked him about players. He can describe the players, their style, how they play, what their strengths are. He knew about the club. That's why they hired him when he went from PSG to Arsenal. He got fired 18 months later. That's why he got hired over people like Arteta the previous time around. Because he did his due diligence, like you should do before you go ask some question about what the playing style. Which coach does this? Lazy coaches do that. They not do the work. That's why I complain when I come on this program to get my likes, because I do my work before I come here. I don't come here and just talk about something without doing my homework.
Yeah.
I can just come post something and say, you know what, let's talk about Jamaica football and just post it and just go about my business. I don't do that. I spend hours doing research. That's what you do.
When Algrimson came, Algrimson came, he said he has to first understand the people and the culture, right?
Yep.
I think Rene Samoy said the same thing,
Right.
I don't believe there's anything different that Steve is doing.
No, but you just said he asked somebody about how we play. He should have. Wait. Go ahead.
He was answering a question, right? About what philosophy or style of play does he have in mind?
That who have in mind?
somebody asked him that question. What does he have in mind? Does he have a style or philosophy? Whatever.
Yes. I remember that question. Yes.
Right.
Right.
And so the question, and so in his response, he said he has to find out the and I don't remember his exact word, but the way, what is the way we play, or the way of the Jamaica, right? And he said attitude, taking care of the ball, and speed, and he elaborated.
That's not a style of. That's not a style of play.
No, but he's saying that
that's your individual ability. That's not a style of play.
Right, but again, I don't remember if I said philosophy, because I remember him using the term philosophy, and he said it doesn't matter the philosophy, but you still have to
have certain fundamental attributes. Yeah, you have to have certain fundamental.
Yeah. So those were answers to specific questions. Like it's a different thing, Cranky. If I come to you and say, "Boy, if I just come to you and just start saying something about anything," I'm trying to think of an example, versus you asking me a specific question about that.
Yeah, but if I say to you, "Hey, Peter, somebody asks you a question about what's your philosophy and how you're going to play," and you say what? Because they say he's a modern coach, and you're playing. Do you play ball possession? Do you play low block? Do you play high block? What's your philosophy? What's your football philosophy? You can't tell me that. Everybody has football philosophy.
He don't say he has
coach.
One. I think he did say he has one.
I think the view was that it's based on what material I'm working with that informs how I play. Right?
Exactly. Yeah. Right. He has one, but he still have to see what he's working with.
Yeah.
Because like you say, if we can't possess the ball, right? You always say we don't have a Ravel in the middle to possess the ball. We don't have somebody who is that commanding in the midfield to come take the ball and turn with even two players in their back, right? So we can't play that kind of game because we don't have the material. So I don't, listen, man. I just think as time goes on, I think this coach will get it right, and I'm not too hung up on his answers to some of these questions in the press conference. I'm more concerned about what your caller said about Ricketts, because I was sitting there watching, and I'm thinking to myself, God, can somebody tell him to put the damn phone down and put it on silent?
I mean, as I said before, the previous press conference, we had somebody who was not dressed appropriately, and people are saying this, which I wasn't really focused on. People don't realize,
You never responded.
But here's the thing. I don't really even focus on that. I actually focus on the words. When I'm listening to press conference, I don't even watching the pictures that much, right? But somehow I was watching the picture the other day when I saw this, because it was so obvious to me anyway. But I'm listening to what he's saying and dissecting every single word, understanding every word, and does it make sense, right? So people are seeing. I didn't notice Ricketts till somebody mentioned it. I didn't even think about that.
Yeah, man. The optics didn't look good at all, and you'd expect better from the president,
Yeah.
And these are some of the little things, like the little nuances of unprofessionalism, But there are some positives. I mean, I always thought that Bailey should apologize, but I'm happy to see him back. And the fact that he wrote a letter. And I've always said this too, when people were going back and forth about the letter, I posted on a couple of platforms. I said, look, we are fussing with each other about a letter. And I said, you know what? I remember saying this on a platform. I say, in the comment section, I say, I bet Leon don't write a letter a long time, and then look how we there fuss about it. And it's true.
But I don't even know what the letter to me is. So let me be frank. The letter is nonsense. The letter is saying, tell us you want to play. Should that be the letter?
No. It's just formality. It's just to make it.
No. So but you're missing my point, though. The offense you commit, the punishment should be reflective of the crime you do in life. That's how life is. That's how the criminal justice system is. That's how we operate. Right. A kid went out and take the wrong sweetie. You may, give them a hard time. They do something more egregious. You may take away their PlayStation or whatever it is that people use nowadays, or their video game. We give the punishment reflective of the crime you conduct. That's how life is in general.
Right.
I don't know what the letter does to anything about anything.
Well, it's not even a letter. That's why I said we get hung up on these damn semantics. It's just for Leon Bailey to put in writing and say, hey, I'm available, because he's the one who said he was not available. right, for selection. So that we don't have this hullabaloo again if selected. But here's the positive that I am thinking of. If Leon was able to put pen to paper or sit down a keyboard and type an email to the technical committee or whoever to say, yes, I'm available, to me, that shows a level of commitment, which I want from Leon. And you know what was more telling? And I've been saying this as well. I said the quicker Leon can create some space between him and Craig, I think the better it is going to be for him. And recently, Craig came out and said that he won't interfere with the player, decision and whether to play for his country. But I take that to mean you can't. You understand?
Yeah.
You are at a position now where you can't interfere anymore. And to me, I take all of those as positives.
Okay.
And so we can talk about some of the positives, Virgin. Now, I mean, the squad don't look too bad, you know?
No, I didn't come here and beat the squad, no. I called out some things in the squad. When I went to the squad, I said, goalkeepers are fine, defenders are fine, forward, I didn't beat anybody. I mentioned Kaim Dixon. Some people text me and say Kaim Dixon should be in the squad. I don't agree with them. The one player I called out was a player that played for the under 20, and I said, does the player deserve to be in the squad? You can't get promoted for mediocrity. You can't get promoted for mediocrity. You get promoted because you have excelled. So I didn't sit here and say Andre Blake should be in the squad, Connor Boyce Clark, Jamal Lowe, Dexter. I didn't call out Hector, who I hear don't have a club. And I'm gonna say, why is Ravel not here if Hector is here, don't have a club, right? I didn't talk about that. My focus was I didn't spend a lot of time on the squad per se, to be honest, because it's the same team that we had before. My view is that he didn't pick the squad. Yeah. And my view is he hasn't done his due diligence like he should, as he wouldn't say certain things. When you're going to do for an interview for a company, for a job, you spend days and nights preparing so you can put the best you forward. Don't come in a press conference and publicly, which you came back up. Then we have a problem.
Yeah. What do you feel about Leon?
I don't have a feeling about Leon. I don't have a feeling about Leon. If Leon comes, he comes. If he doesn't come, he doesn't come. And by the way, that's my view on any player, to be frank.
Yeah.
Except Mason Greenwood.
Yeah.
I have one carve out. If Mason Greenwood doesn't come, because here's the thing: if Andre Blake doesn't come, Jamal Will is a good backup, isn't he?
Right. Correct.
Right.
Yes.
If I go in my center half, Lowe, Hector, Pinnock, Bernard, to me are all interchangeable. People say, "Cranky, you're wrong." Lowe, Pinnock is XYZ. Pinnock has gotten slower this year, by the way, and that's for you, IMAX. Right. Right back, I have Dexter. Amari Bell left. Greg Lee can replace him. When I have cover everywhere, right? If I go up front, Mikel Antonio can play out what if he so needed to do. Shamar can play in the middle, and we play the two-headed monster, which I don't like. Gray can interchange. Kaim Dixon can play. So if he doesn't turn up, he doesn't turn up. If Antonio doesn't turn up, Nicholas can replace him. That's my philosophy.
Right.
I'm not going to sit down and sweat because you don't turn up. But if Mason Greenwood comes with an exceptional talent, yes, I'll be perturbed if he doesn't turn up.
Right.
Rest of them, I don't get perturbed.
So I guess.
And by the way, that player you just mentioned, he hasn't excelled for he may excel at club level. He hasn't excelled for the country. He's had 30 opportunities to excel. He hasn't excelled.
You know that I was listening to Craig on the Sports Explosion one day, and I think it was during that whole fiasco, right?
Yeah.
And the Maverick asked him, why has not Leon Bailey performed in a Jamaican shirt? And his answer was, and I'm quoting him verbatim, Leon is not focused when he comes to Jamaica. So what I believe is the difference between a Leon playing in Aston Villa and a Leon playing here, that when he comes, that's why he breaks the curfew, because he's in some kind of vacation / party mode when he comes to Jamaica. So I believe once he comes focused, I believe we will see that kind of Leon that we've been looking for in the national colors. And I believe that this time, something tells me, Cranky, this time is different, you know?
Well, look, look. I would love the player to excel for the country, right? People have this misconception I don't like the player. I'm indifferent when it comes to the player. If you're not producing, I'm a typical fan, you know. If you're playing for Arsenal, you don't produce, next up. But I tell the players, don't focus on the crankies of the world and what they want. Focus on yourself and your family first. Then you can focus on everything else. Because when they move on, we move on. When they move on, we go to the next. We say, who's next? We're not thinking about them. Right. So I tell everybody, all the players, club or country, you and your family come first. Do what's best for them.
Yeah.
right? Because I'm not gonna be a hypocrite and then say, you know what? When people are saying, oh, Clark went to the IMF when Jamaica paying him peanuts, them are complaining. We lost his brain drain. He's not patriotic. Stop being a hypocrite. Nigel Clark was a good finance minister. I had my problem with him when he gave the raise, but the man says, you guys ain't paying me enough, and you're not paying these sectors enough, and then we complain. So I go get a better job, a bigger job, I'm on that, and you're complaining about me patriotic. You and yourself go away. I agree with him. You take what you do what's best for you and your family.
Right.
So if this player comes to Jamaica and he's not focused, but don't play then. Let somebody else get a game. Because but by the way, the player most of the game are not played in Jamaica.
Right.
So that excuse, I don't buy the excuse.
Right.
All right, Peter.
Yeah, man.
I appreciate the call, man. Yeah, man. Respect.
Yeah,
All
man.
right, thanks.
Cool.
Yeah. All right, people. Get ready to close the show. First, I want to say this, people. 220 in the chat, people. Hit the like. The like is more than the chat, but trust me, there's much more than 220 people pass through because me check the numbers them 24/7. WeMax, I don't know why you give WeMax, IMax, WeMax, UMax, DemMax. When we're gonna debate? Because you keep threatening me in your program now. I'm gonna just list you and smile now. WeMax, pick the time, pick the place, pick the subject. I will just take the opposite side of it, no matter what it is. Except Mason Greenwood situation. We're not debate Mason Greenwood. No, that's too toxic for debate. So WeMax, the ball is in your court. All right? Anytime, any place, anywhere. In fact, we should do 2 debates. One on my channel, one on your channel. Stop procrastinating. Stop delaying. Stop pontificating. Pick the time. Pick the place. I'll be ready because I do my due diligence. Secondly, people, my purpose tonight was not to beat any coach. I'll beat any JFF. In fact, I'm not even beating the JFF because the JFF don't control what the coach says. Right? Coach, we're not stupid. We're not idiots. Don't come tell us certain things which you can't back up. Don't come tell us certain things which we cannot back up, which we can't back up, coach. We are informed football audience. We love our football. We want you to do well. We hope you succeed because, when you do well, we do well. Second, people, don't use any excuse not to go watch the game on September 6th. We don't buy that. I can't be there, and I'll admit, so I shouldn't be hypocrite and saying all that. I thought about coming, but didn't work out. I have some family matters I have to attend to. But don't use hypocrisy and don't use some excuse not to go to the game. I hear person saying I go with them 8 people from Westmoreland. If my drive from Westmoreland, what do you do? About 2 hours now, something, because when you get new road pressure, then you can go to the game if you live at Kingston, St. Andrew, Clarendon, whatever it is. Make an attempt to go support the team. Nobody want to play in empty stadiums. JFF. Me not try beating them. We have been down that road. But sometimes you have to do better. Here people that call out the president for being on his phone during a press conference. Prezi, as Chung like call you, that cannot be okay. Optics matter. It's not only about substance, optics matter, Prezi. You have to do better, Prezi. I like the president. I've communicated with the president. When I met him out in Dallas, he's a nice person. I've always said this about him, that if certain people in the JFF had some of his demeanor, coupled with their ability, it would be of the perfect person being in the JFF. Because sometimes we have extremes. And he's always trying to find a middle ground. But Prezi, you can't be on your phone when you have a press conference as a coach and people are watching from all over the world. That can't right, Prezi. Third, fourth, people. You see, the quota system we have at Jamaica, a manifest. See, the coach said, the people who are 24 and under want to play for them country. That's not true across the board. There's some younger kids want to play who can be capped earlier and have them 3 cap and then can't play for nobody else. JFF, get on it. And coach, you need to do better. You're saying certain things which doesn't match up to reality. Because we follow the football and we don't see what you're seeing. So you're telling us we're uninformed. No, we're not uninformed. Because when Cavaliers go play against Cincinnati, it was men against boys. They look like boys. They look like how young they are. When the under 20, who's our best set of players, go play against the US, them get 9 love. So you can't tell me about this young team and how great they are when our competition we're going to be playing against, which is the 5 or 7 teams in Concacaf, if you add Honduras to the mix, who are a real competition. Our competition is no longer Trinidad, no. Because Trinidad has gone south. And I don't see no way back for them. Because you know what? They're in so much debt, their football will recover for a long time. Not in my lifetime. So I agree with the old man when him say this. See what I say? I agree with him when him say Trinidad make World Cup no time soon. I don't see them making World Cup anytime soon. Unless them go recruit some diaspora players and they don't have too many of them. I don't see how they're going to come back because they're in too much debt. Our debt is now manageable by JFF. We have a chance to reset as a country when it comes to football. We can reset. You get money from Copa. You get money from the Gold Cup. You get money from Adidas. No, go out and work with diaspora, work with local businesses, build some bridges, and make sure you can get resources there. And we can invest the resources in the young talent so they can truly be at the level they should be, not what the coach is telling you, because the coach is not right. We watch the talent. If you watch people playing against themselves, they might look good. But then go play against better players, they might look bad. And I'm shocked that a coach of his pedigree, who watched so much quality football overseas, who have coached quality team, who have coached England, is going to come tell us something there when we know better. There may be some raw materials there, but the raw material they need enough work. We may have physical attributes, but football is about technical ability nowadays. Technical ability. The physical thing that you have can give you a differentiation, but you have to do this as technical to be that differentiating quality. So don't come here and, like you try curry favor, as we say in Jamaica, and try to appease certain people and say certain things. We're not buying it. Because we're not living on some. By the way, people, I was getting jumping. I mean, I digress now. I'm jumping up and down because we signed Raheem Sterling to Arsenal. And I was watching it on my screen. So you see me, when we talk to Peter, you see me get excited because I believe in Sterling and his quality, especially since he's Jamaican. Born in Jamaica, by the way. Coming on us there. Let me say this, people. I want Jamaica to do well. I want the coach to do well. But we can't be hypocrites and don't call it the coach when you say and do certain things, because that's not right either. I know Peter said we're too critical and that we always need to be criticizing. And I've been trying to manage and change the narrative somewhat by certain programs that I do. And I do think we should support the JFF as they try to move forward, even though I think they're a monopoly. Because they're all we have and we have no choice. And if they can work to build bridges between them and their stakeholder community and stop not being transparent, it would only go a long way to enable the way we want to operate with them as a body. They have to do more reaching out. They have to do more engagement. They have to do more have more transparency so we can get more comfortable and more trusting of them. Until them do that, people will feel some squeeziness. They're not going to feel good. Right? And the coach don't come tell us certain things because we don't want to hear it, because we know what we see. So I hope the coach does well. I want the coach to do well. I want Jamaica to win. We are, and the World Cup are keeping at Canada, US, and Mexico. Africa a game. If I'm not interested, we go World Cup if Jamaica not play. I tell you the truth. I probably will go a game or two, but I'm not interested, we go Jamaica not play. We want Jamaica to go World Cup. We haven't gone. There was people, let me tell you something. If you were in the US in 1997, you played Washington in DC, and you're on the turnpike driving from New York to DC. If you're leaving from Jersey, or people come from Florida, or they come from Ohio, the road was packed with Jamaicans going to the games, and it was the best feeling ever. And when we score against the US, the stadium turned up. That's why the US played no more games on the East Coast when it comes to World Cup qualifiers against Jamaica. Because, we are wagonists. We turn out for those things. So people, we as a people will support our football when the football also support us. But let me say this. Somebody have to reach out first. Somebody have to be the adult in the room. So the JFF don't want to reach out, we're going to reach out to the JFF. But the JFF have to try. They have to meet us halfway. Right? It can't be a one-dimensional thing. The JFF has to meet us halfway. Yes, Tony. So, see, people, Tony and I disagree a ton. But nowadays, we seem to be agreeing a lot. I don't know what's going on with me and Tony. Tony, I don't understand what's happening with us, Tony. We have to go back to our normal adversarial relationship, Tony. Even though with me and Tony, there's mutual respect, people. So don't get it wrong. We argue, but we argue professionally. We don't argue and cuss each other. So Tony, I don't know what's wrong. I know it's late in the UK. What time now, Tony? 20 at night, all night. It's 1:39 in the UK now. But Tony and I always argue about this thing. But of late, over the last 6 months to a year, we seem to be agreeing on almost everything, which cannot be healthy, Tony. Cannot be healthy. It's very unhealthy. I'm not comfortable with that, Tony. We need to fight more. But people, let me say this. We're playing on September 6th. Do not make any excuse not to go to National Stadium. Don't talk about no JFF this or display me like no in team. That's nonsense. The team needs your support. and we have to support the team. We should not come here talking about making 101 excuse about, you know, $30 at Grand's done too much and $10 breach is too much. That's nonsense. Yeah, I know it's 1:39 a.m., Tony. If you got your bed, because Arsenal play tomorrow at 12, 7:30 my time. By the way, people, I may be doing a watch along tomorrow morning, but if I can get up, I'll do a watch along for Arsenal. And I'm even more encouraged now them are starting. If them can't play because it's signed after 12 p.m., so you play after the international window. But people, I appreciate you being here. I must sign off now because I was supposed to be here for 2 hours. But I know it's a Jamaica discussion. I saw no stay on a turn on for Jamaica and not turn on for other things. If we start talking about EPL, half on the run gone. I don't want to talk about Jamaica. But it's a good thing. Patriotism, you love your country, you want the country to do well, and we appreciate you people. So let me just sign off by saying this. The goal of this discussion this evening was not to beat the JFF, or frankly, it was to beat the coach. Let me not be a hypocrite. It was to beat the coach. Because you know what? I never like what I'm saying. I didn't like what he said about recruiting. I didn't like what he said about the talent that we have on the ground. Do we have some talent on the ground? Of course we do. Every country has talent. But that talent has not manifested itself in the way that it should against the competition who we're matched up against. The competition is not Trinidad. It's not Grenada. It's not St. Lucia. So Trevor's lineup is for the game: Gray, Antonio, Bailey, Anderson, Palmer, Bobby, Bell, Bernard, Pinnock, Latti, Blake. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Now 12 you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. I like the team actually. I actually like the team that you have here. Would I change anybody? I don't know. You gonna play Latti over Lembakisa? Lembakisa doing to be dropped. Hey, my friend, I'm sorry to tell you this, but you need to go fix Trinidad. You need to go fix Trinidad. I tell you right now, go fix Trinidad. Because Trinidad broken. Trinidad's broken in a lot of different ways. Go fix Trinidad in that football area. I like your team, Travis. I like a team, Travis. I like a team. I don't think I would change anything on this team. Let me just make sure before I say that. I know somebody will beat me as a cranky. The Lambakisa, yeah, Latti deserved to play. Based on he's been playing lately, even when he went to the midfield. So he may substitute Latti with Anderson. I think he's probably going to substitute like that. They're going to use more experience. But Anderson plays well. Anderson is playing football nowadays. I could see, because you're going to have Latti at right back. And Latti is supposed to be and Latti was excellent against the US at left back, actually, in a back three. So it's an interesting one. I don't think we can go wrong if you play this team or if you put Lembe in there and drop somebody. Whoever that is. Now, some people might ask, where's Damian Lowe? Damian have to fight for center half because Damian is not a midfielder. Somebody say, J. Ross say Russell, Anderson, and Bobby. I don't agree with you, J. Ross. I'm not say Anderson not this team. I'm not say Russ not this team. But Trevor's team is a nice team. Trevor's team probably should be the team, except Lembakiza. Him always, yeah, no, 4-3-3. I understand that. Professor, I understand that. Because you're playing Latti at right back, right? And the question is, should Latti play at right back versus Lembakiza? But Latti should be in the team, so I'm glad I'm not the coach in this one. We talk about Bobby Reed for bench. Why I drink? We have to drink, big deal. No, sir. Bobby Reed can't bench. Bobby Reed can't play midfield. Bobby Reed have too much energy and too much know-how, and he might play football for Leicester now. No, sir. Wouldn't bench Bobby. Yeah, but how well is he playing? Russell is slow, you know. Russell not covering up space quick, you know. I haven't watched him play though, so people improve. I haven't watched him play of late, so I should manage what I say on that. I haven't watched him play of late that much, but I'm not sure that I'll play him over the other players. I like K-Roy, actually. I like K-Roy. Casey will play. I think Bobby will play, actually. And he has Bobby as a, notice people. He didn't have Bobby as a forward, you know? He had Bobby at midfield. So Bobby a guaranteed starter. Casey a guaranteed starter. It's the next position between K-Roy and John Russell, I think. And who knows? We may get surprised. One of the defenders may, like Latti, may move into the midfield. We never know. But I can't argue with Presser's team. No, I'm not going to do that, you know. I'm not, either Lower Burner go play beside Pinnock. I'm not going to play Lati there. Lati's a very versatile player, though. We're not on 3-5-2 before the game. We're not playing on old man football. We're not playing on 3-5-2 with two big centre forwards and getting in each other's way. You know, people, I was watching a game the other day with two centre forwards. Who was it playing? Who were linking up brilliantly. 1-2. What game it was? And I was thinking, I don't think I've seen Jamaica centre forward put two passes together between the two of them. Ever. So they've been playing that two players of two forward up front. I've never seen them breaking on defense by linking up, playing together. And I can't remember which game I saw that happen, where there are two center forwards. It'll come to me. And I was very surprised how well they play together. So anyway, people, let me just close out by saying I appreciate everyone who have joined the stream. As I've always said, you could be any place else. I appreciate you being here. I know sometimes I'm very cranky, but you know what you're dealing with when you come on my program, that I can be cranky, but I appreciate being here. I disagree with the concept and the idea and the view of boycotting 433. I think everybody have their view. I don't agree with 433, but I don't agree with boycott either. It's like the Me Too movement, where people just boycott a lot of people, sometimes not justified, right? I understand what he has done, and he's repented. 433, if you repent, so I'm going to stop beating him. But I appreciate you being here. And if you haven't hit the like button while you're here, please hit the like button. Thanks for being here. And support the JFF people. I'm actually serious about that. Support the JFF, support the football, and most importantly, support the players. Okay? Support the players. They need your support. They want your support. They're asking for your support. Treat them as if they're valued product for us, because they are the product. And we can't do anything without the product. We can do things without administration and without funds, and we can't do anything with the product. But please support the players and people. They deserve your support. Go to the games and cheer them, people. Cheer them. Because there's nothing like a 12-man in the stands. Bless up D-Buzz. There's nothing like people in the stands who are supporting you playing on a football field. Those who play sport and play with a crowd, that's why they have the 12-man, and that's why people have home court advantage. Make the office, not just a office. Make it the office. Make it people don't want to come there and play. Make it uncomfortable with the opposition. You can only do that if you're there in your numbers, you're there with your support. And by the way, the lights are working, people. So the lights are great. You have to go watch part of the coverage of the game. Because I heard the lights were great and reflect well. And this wasn't said to me by a Jamaican, by the way. And the person was impressed with the lighting. And he also thought the field was okay, because we don't have as much activities now on the field. So we also need to support the program. So people got a game. All right? Thanks, everyone, for coming on. I appreciate you here. We're going to I'll sign up with my music. I don't know, so don't like it. But don't forget to over myself when you go on anything there. All right? Good night, everyone. Thanks for being here. Appreciate you. Thanks. Frankie Life is the best to be now. For the best sports talk, and it's free, yo. Frankie Life will be your guiding light by keeping you informed both day and night. Frankie Life, tell them. Frankie Life, heed them. Frankie Life, want them. Frankie Life. From the course to the field, we'll never lose, because Cranky has the hottest news. With expert analysis, we break it down. Our in-depth coverage is best in town. Cranky Life, tell them. Cranky Life, heed them. Cranky Life, want them. Cranky Life. Cranky Life, where the sports is spicy and where we keep the discussion lively. Cranky Life, get to know the name, because Cranky analysis is never lame. Cranky Life, give me my Cranky Life. I want my Cranky Life. Must have my Cranky Life. Whether it's football or track and field, you know Cranky is at the wheel. So join the journey through victory and defeat, and subscribe and don't miss a beat of Cranky Life. Tell them, Cranky Life. Heed them, Cranky Life. Want them, Cranky Life. If you're from England or USA, from Kingston or Bombay, from Kenya or Canada, Lagos or Havana, visit Cranky Live. Tune into Cranky Live. Like up Cranky Live. Subscribe to Cranky Live. Cranky Live. Coming to you on weekdays. Cranky Live sometimes on Sundays. Pull up a chair and take a seat because Cranky will always bring the heat. Cranky Live. Me say fi tell them Cranky Live. Me say fi eat them Cranky Live. On them Cranky Live. Cranky Live will be around. Cranky Live is the best in town. Me say fi eat them. Me say fi want them. Me say fi eat them. Want them, eat them, want them. Cranky Live. Cranky Live. Eat them, want them, eat them, want them. Cranky Live. Cranky Live. Eat them, want them, eat them, want them, eat them, want them. Cranky Live. Cranky Live. Cranky. Eat them, want them, eat them, want them. Eat, want, eat them.